So our spacefaring adventurers began searching for the altar at the base of the volcano on Shydes, where Dementia asked them to meet her. When they arrived, there was no one to be found. They began to investigate. As they started to learn about the altar, a group of several Thracian soldiers, led by an intense female, approached the group, trapping them between their squad and the pools of liquid, hot, bubbling magma. I love that. Before there it is. Before this woman had the opportunity to monologue, Cleo fired 2 arrows into the woman, and a difficult battle took place. After the dust settled, many of our heroes were badly hurt, but all of the Thracian soldiers lay slain upon the ash-covered ground of the treacherous planet. And that's where we pick up tonight's episode of Spelljammer, Lost Divinity. So you guys are standing around here. You just looted the area, which none of these individuals really had anything on them other than the one woman that you guys took down, and I believe Zarin scooped up pretty much all of what she had. The one thing that you do notice about the armor that she was wearing that you had picked up, Zarin, is much of the right leg of that armor has been melted away due to the time that she spent in the lava, thanks to Cecil. So you're not sure. Some altering might need to be done to that armor in order for anybody to actually utilize it or wear it. So, but the adventure is yours, friends. Where would you like to start here?
I'm just gonna go around and see if anybody needs any healing or anything like that. I have 1 spell slot left, so.
Do we want to try and take like a short rest at least to do some hit die?
I think we should maybe get back on the ship and get out of here.
At least leave the area. I'm gonna help Rayla gather her pollen.
But we didn't do what we came here to do.
Yeah,
I think it was a trap. I don't know if.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Well, we haven't looked around. There could be wherever this lady came from could be where Dementia is, and then you won't get answers if we just leave.
Well, let's start with getting these bodies and our able bodies onto the ship.
Yeah, we can
get a little bit of distance, do a short rest, and then we can, if we need to, scour this area. But I think just looking at Rayla, Zaren's like, I have bigger right now problems to deal with, so I think, yeah, that's Zaren's calls. Let's at least get the bodies off this planet into our ships. We can have a short rest, because we're all looking pretty bloodied at the moment. And then we can go from there.
What if I just scout around first?
How are you looking out of character?
Keep in mind,
Yeah. Cleo,
there could be more fire snakes.
I can be totally unseen.
No, we're gonna get on the ship and we're gonna
You
go.
can scout around after a quick rest.
I'm going to put my hand on Cleo's shoulder. And I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds for 2 hit points. I rolled a 1, so yeah.
Very good, Zalaf. Very good.
We need to get out of here and just take a breather. We'll come back and scout, okay?
Rayla is basically hunched down over one of her cultists that's laying in the ash on the ground. And this is probably the first time you guys have ever witnessed this from her. She looks broken, and tears are pouring down her face and falling kind of off of her cheeks and down onto the corpse that lays in front of her.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead Cleo back to our ship that's here.
Actually, Zalaf, can you handle the bodies?
Of course. Let's just let me get them.
I was literally just gonna bridal side princess, pick up Rayla, and take her back to the ship.
You got it.
Just come on.
Yeah, because we can get on Cecil's ship and we can fly that back to our ship. So
Yeah, good call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are gathering the bodies of the cultists and pulling them back on the ship. You do notice that your brothers look in bad shape too.
How rough are my brothers? Because I can heal a little bit.
So Solon is 11 out of 53.
Oh,
and Caesius is currently at 8 out of 27.
Yeah, I was gonna say Caesius is right there with me because I had to pick him up twice, and I think Rayla picked him up once too.
Okay, I'll give Caesius 8 hit points with a lay on hands.
Okay, you got it.
Can I do a detect portals real quick before we leave? Because I know that Zalath was mentioning this statue area kind of looked portal-y, and I didn't actually get a chance to check it yet.
Yes. Sure, so you want to go and inspect that portal area that you...
I don't have to inspect it. It's just a magic, like, divine sense kind of vibe. Detect a distance and direction to the closest planar portal within a mile.
Okay.
I can also look it over to see if it just has, like, planar energy.
I'll give you this. With that sense, you would know that this is indeed, in fact, a planar portal. But it is one that has been damaged in a way that it can no longer open.
Do I have any idea what plane it could have led to?
Does your spell indicate, or does your ability indicate that you would know what plane it's going to?
Distance and direction to the closest portal. Nope.
No, probably not.
Can I guess I will go, like, examine it real quick and see if I can, judging by, like, the runes that are on it and by, like, energy vibes, to see if I can figure out what plane. I'm gonna guess fire, but that's a guess. It could be the abyss, it could be the nine hells, it could be, honestly, it could be the plane of water, and this is misleading, so...
I'm gonna stay with her because I was trying to lead her to the ship, and then she turns around and goes the other way.
Wait 1 minute, I just need to check that portal thing really quick. We go.
So she's going back to the portal. Everybody else is getting on the ship.
Yeah.
Cleo is charging. Zalath looks at the ship, looks at everybody getting on the ship, looks back at Cleo walking the opposite direction, looks back at the ship, looks back at Cleo and goes, and follows after Cleo. I love it. So go ahead and do this. I will, because of your thought process and how you described it, I will go ahead and let you make either an investigation check, an arcana check, or a perception check with advantage.
We'll definitely take perception, because I'm bad at the rest of those.
Okay, I'll let you do any of those.
As we're walking over there, I'm going to say to you, have 1 minute.
I need,
I need like 5. Drag you back to the ship.
I need like 5 minutes. Can you give me?
Have 1.
You said a perception with advantage?
Sure. Yeah, any one of those skills is appropriate.
24.
24. Your first assumption is, yes, this is the plane of fire. But more specifically, as you look up there at that top, you remember how I kind of described there was some kind of feature form that was like reaching around, kind of grabbing this thing, and it was like sculpted in a way. You can look at that, and you have some knowledge about what this thing is. This is an Afridi sculpture wrapped around this kind of archway, which is basically a fire genie from the plane of fire.
So, but it's just a statue of an Afridi, or is it like an Afridi that has been petrified?
It looks. I mean, that's hard to determine, but it looks like it's been handmade.
Zalath, I need like 5 more minutes.
That was a minute. I go over there and I'm gonna pick her up and put her over my shoulder.
And with as you're being drug away, you can kind of see the causes of what has stopped this portal from being like somebody has basically like scratched and broken like a lot of the runes that go around the archway to purposely stop this planar portal from being able to be utilized, especially from this side.
Do you think it could be repaired?
With an extensive amount of time and research, probably.
Okay.
But from your perch up on top of Zalath's shoulder as you're being drug away, I don't think that's going to be possible at this moment.
Am I like sack of potatoes?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
should we just, like,
basically
speed
sack
it?
of potato. Yeah, you're looking back at the statue as I'm walking away. Yes.
You're still like perceiving it as
Like she's like pushing against his back. So
Oh, wait,
she
wait,
can be,
wait.
like more upright.
No.
I think we could.
And
fix
you know what?
it.
I'll give you one more piece of information. I'll give you one more.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you rolled the 24, right? You rolled
Yeah.
like ridiculously high.
Yeah, I rolled 18 plus 6, so yeah.
There is evidence of darker piles of ash and some kind of residue, like darkened residue, that seems to be on the dais, the step area that led like out of the archway. So your presumption of this is sometime recently, something came out of this.
So this was destroyed like very recently.
Recently, yes.
I can't determine how recent.
Within the last couple of weeks.
Hmm. Do I have any idea? I guess was there any way to tell how long the ship has been? The other ship, the Scorpion ship, has been here.
I don't know if you guys would.
Like,
Is there,
can I
a
tell?
logbook?
I did pick up a lot of papers with
You
information.
did pick up a
and
lot
stuff.
of papers. I don't.
Or just like how frequently or how when it was last like used, because it doesn't seem like people were like in there for a very long time, right?
Probably. Yeah, you guys would have probably. It's weird because you can't just say like, oh, the engines were still running, you know, because it just
Yeah,
doesn't make any
exactly.
sense.
Yeah. Like, was
you-
there a hot coffee on a desk somewhere, or
There was a room temperature coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
see, that tells me it was only been a few hours. Yeah.
Your assumption is it probably hasn't been here that long.
Hmm.
But that's, like I said, it's just kind of like an estimated guess, basically, about with all the facts and information that you have.
So last, I just want 5 more minutes to go check this thing out.
Take a breather, and
I
then we
just-
can go check it out. Okay? Nope.
I'm
I gave you a minute.
breathing just fine.
No, you look like you need to like take a nap. Okay, we're gonna go do that. I walk her over to the ship, drop her off, and then I go help with bringing the bodies of our
Okay.
fallen.
And
back to
honestly, they really have enough help to bring the bodies. So by the time you guys get back, Cecil's got everybody like back on the ship.
Okay.
And you guys are pretty much set on the Scorpion ship. Now, with a big group like this, the Scorpion ship isn't an enormous vessel.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can fit on it, obviously, but it's kind of tight.
And yeah, we're just gonna. I think right. We're just
And-
flying this back to.
Yeah, go
the
back to our
captain.
ship.
Captain, before we go, I just want to tell you. I know. I just want to tell you what I found, so that maybe you will tell Zalath to let me go back and check it out.
I mean,
Is
we
it-
can come back.
We can,
I agree
The
with you.
fire
back.
plane.
we can go. We can come back and check it out.
Oh,
Just
shit.
right now, we need to take a break. We're all hurting.
What'd you say,
I-
Cecil?
The whole ship moves as I realize everybody's on it. I'm taking off.
All right, Cecil takes off. He's like, I'm out
Thank
of
you,
here.
Cecil.
We'll
We'll come back and check it out. Cleo,
It
we'll-
was a portal to the fire plane, and there was ash there at the bottom. Like something had been transported fairly recently through it. I think it's only been a couple weeks that it's been closed.
How long ago were we told to come out here?
Well, it took you about a week to get back to Rock of Brawl. Then it took you roughly like a week to get back here, so it was probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah, this was probably a trap.
Did the person that like told us to meet
Not.
us here, did they sound like the person that was talking to us when we the person we fought? Did they
No.
have a similar tone? They didn't, right? Okay.
No, Dementia wasn't Thracian.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
know she wasn't Thracian. Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure that they weren't the same person, you know.
No, but they were definitely working together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to be fair, the false queen is actually probably the one working with Dementia, not. These are just pawns we dealt with. Yeah, let's get back to our ship and take a short rest, because I think we need it. We're all a little...
Captain, was there during our while we're taking a break, did you need me to look over anything that you found on any of the bodies?
Yeah. What did I grab? Circlet, nice sword, and studded leather. That's pretty damaged from the lava. I'll hand over those items to you.
I will say if something's damaged, it's probably not magical, but I'll still check it out.
Yeah, I don't think it's magical either, but maybe we can.
I'll take a look at it for you.
All right.
So during the short, I mean, if I can, Michael, I don't know if I don't
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
don't know that was mechanics. If I can do ritual
Cecil-
spells in a short rest, I
I'd
don't
say
know if
that's
that-
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say that's fine. Yeah.
Well, then I would,
So Cecil finds a parking space closer to where you guys are parked.
oh, hey, there's
And
someone must have moved, right?
Yeah, that's
I'm right
Fucking
next to you
space
guys.
opened
That's
up.
crazy.
Hey, they really moved a car.
And you guys pull in there, and then you guys are able to get back on your other vessel or hang out on this ship. It's up to you guys wherever you want to take your short rest, and whoever you want to take your short rest with, that's perfectly fine.
I think
I think-
I'll go back to the other ship because it's less cramped for me.
Okay, you got it. Is there so I believe you guys got what were the items again? It was,
Circlet and a fancy sword, and then the damaged studded leather.
Damage to the leather. Yeah, Zalath, you would know that the damage obviously kind of shows you that it doesn't have any magic. Of course, it looks well made.
Yeah.
Somebody Royal Guard-esque would wear something like this.
Is it something like? Is the damage something that I think that I think I could fix with mending, or is it going to be more intensive?
Like almost like the whole leg is gone of this,
Okay,
like
so
because
it's
it's like a
more-
full
gotcha.
suit of leather armor kind of deal. Rather elaborate and intricate in detail. It's going to take a little bit more than mending.
Gotcha. Okay.
So which one are you going to take your time with first?
I will do the sword first.
The sword first.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's always more interested in weaponry first. So he'll definitely check the sword first.
makes sense.
The sword does the hurties.
The sword
Huh?
does the hurties.
Does the hurties.
Yep, that's the hurties.
Hurt really bad.
While he's doing that, what about Zara and Cleo? Is there anything in particular? Cleo, did you want to take a chance or speak to Captain about what you saw and go into details about that with her, or?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think even on the way over, Cleo kind of
Yeah.
gave Zarin
Okay.
the breakdown of it.
And that's when you said a couple weeks, like, sounds about the same timeline as she told us to come here. Feels like a trap.
Right, but if that's true, then they've been like just sitting around here for 2 weeks in that little ship because there's not much else here.
Yeah, I mean,
But then where was she before she found you guys? Because she wasn't on the ship.
I think she
You guys
was
didn't
laying
see her
in,
approaching.
No, I think she was. Oh, Dementia was probably here in the beginning with her. And she was probably told to wait for us.
So she was just like hiding in the lava and then popped out like daisies.
She was probably
You guys
hiding,
stood up.
yeah, nearby. I mean, it's not all
It's
wars
very
are.
unpleasant when you have no idea when someone's going to get here. You're just
It's what
hanging out
she's.
in the rocks.
It's what she's trained to do.
I mean, not that I haven't done something similar before, but it's not very fun.
They really wanted to find me, so it makes sense that she would expend resources. She probably has a few places that she has them lying in wait. It just so happens that this was the one we came to first. I'm not surprised by it. I'm gonna clean my sword and take a short rest. I'm covered in blood. That's not all mine.
You got it.
I'm gonna go squish Cecil because he almost died.
I'm laying down in the helmet, just on my back.
Cleo just like scoots right over and just lays on top of you. You're very squishy.
I was trying to take the short rest before anything happened, and nobody wanted to listen to me.
Well, now we can take a short rest together. Go to sleep.
Everybody just wants to touch things and make things blow up and make the snakes come out of the lava. You know, it could have been better.
You did great. You didn't need it.
I did.
You almost killed her without it.
You know, I think it was just a fluke.
I don't think so.
A stroke of luck, if you will.
I don't believe in luck. We make our own fates.
You don't believe in luck.
No, I don't believe in. I believe in love. I don't believe in luck. You forget I believe in fates.
I mean, can they not be hand in hand?
Not really. It's either predestined or it's random. There's not really an in-between sort of thing.
But some things could be predestined and some things could be random at the same time.
I don't think so.
I'm learning. I've been your friend for so long, and I'm still learning things.
I mean, if you think so, that's good for you, but that's not what I think.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Zalath, you get
Yes.
finished with your first identifying ritual. Are you in the
Roll 20?
the D&D Beyond?
Yes.
Okay, you can search this and see if it pops up.
Okay.
The weapon that you're looking for is called the Lost Thought Blade.
Got it.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
And that's what weapon that is.
Uh-huh. I wonder who this was made for. Captain, I think you're gonna really enjoy this weapon.
Oh,
Yes. Well, first of all, it requires attunement, so hopefully you don't have 3 attuned
don't believe
items
it.
already.
I don't have any items attuned.
Perfect.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Well, you're gonna need to sit with this for basically for the rest of the short rest, and you can attune to it.
All right.
And you can turn it into it will emit purple light when you say its command word as a bonus action. And it will also, when you cut somebody with it, while it's activated, they will take a little bit more, like, give them like a really bad headache. So mechanically, you'll do 2d6
Psychic damage.
extra psychic damage to the target it hits. The glow lasts until you use a bonus action to speak the command word again, or until you drop or sheath the sword.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And yeah, you can just look it up on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
There you go.
Basically, it's a flame tongue longsword that I repurposed to do psychic damage instead of fire damage.
Uh-huh.
And turned it purple to
turned it
directly
purple.
target
And
Christy.
turned it into a lightsaber.
Uh-huh.
Right again.
And you guys like killed her too quickly. She didn't even get a chance to like activate it last time.
She used it on me. She hit me with it 3 times.
She hit you
But
with
she
it, but
didn't-
it wasn't activated.
She didn't activate it yet. So if she
Yeah.
would have hit you with it activated, it would have done a lot more damage.
Oh man, I took a lot of damage already. I took like 60 damage.
Would have hurt a lot more. Oh, you're still working on the circlet.
Yes, that's the next thing.
You're
I'm
still
checking out.
working on the circlet. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna get you the circlet too.
Okay.
So the circlet, if you in your D&D Beyond, if you search Dream Seeker, all one word, Dream Seeker circlet, and let me know if that comes
Got
up.
it.
You got it? Okay.
Mhm.
One of those spells that are in there is a custom spell,
Okay.
Psychic Blast, that for some reason I can create it as a homebrew spell in there, but it won't let me like tag it into the actual item because it's a homebrew
Okay.
spell. But I can share it. Basically, it's a version of Fireball, but it does psychic damage.
Oh.
Yeah, Kevin, I think this is something else that you're gonna very much enjoy. I mean, unless you want to give it to somebody else.
Mhm.
But I will. It's
I'll
another thing that you have to
hold on,
attune. It's another thing you have to attune to. And I'm assuming you're looking at it, Christy.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay. And I'll just describe what it does to her, and so that way she knows.
It's into psychic
Just-
damage, 8 charges, chaos bolt. Oh hell yes, maybe I'm just gonna keep it for that.
Chaos bolt's very good.
Mind spike, psychic blast. Spell save for the circlet is DC 15. And it regains 1d6 plus 1 expended charges daily at dawn. If you expend the circlet's last charge, roll a d20 on a 1. Like normal magic items that recharge, it can be destroyed if you roll a nat 1.
And you can upcast by spending more charges.
Oh.
It's right after the DC.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Thank you.
Yep.
You can increase this level of spell by spending an additional charge per level spell. Ooh, that could be nasty.
Yeah, keep track of on Chaos Bolt. It only does the psychic damage tag on there.
Of the chaos bolt, gotcha.
Yeah, of the Chaos Bolt. You can't
Does
like.
chaos bolt still have a chance to proc, what's the word,
Jump.
chaining? Like if you roll like the 2 numbers on the 2d6.
Let's see. You hurl
2d8 rather?
a warbling mass of chaotic energy. Make a ranged spell attack against the target on a hit. The target takes 2d8 plus 1d6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Choose one
But
of the
if you roll-
d8s to determine. Well, see that part will be ignored because it only
Okay.
does the
It only
psychic.
does the psychic.
Yeah, it only does psychic. So it's basically just like a blast of psychic, like a telekinetic
Gotcha.
kind of like a firebolt that only does psychic damage. Basically, is what it is. Mhm.
It's a fancy one.
And if you remember, she kind of touched that circlet before she blasted you guys with that big
Right, yeah.
AoE psychic. That was a psychic blast that you guys took.
Yeah, that was.
Gotcha. Also, it gives you resistance to psychic
It
damage.
does
too,
give resistance.
So
hmm
I will attune to them for now, but I'll talk to Vic and see if she wants the circlet, because I feel like that's also something that's kind of flavored to her a little bit. I'll talk to
From
her
an
about it.
economy standpoint too.
Yeah,
Paladin smites are pretty
yeah, I'm pretty
mean to
good
give
with
up.
like, yeah. I think I'll probably end up giving that to Rayla, but for now, in case we get into a fight, not the
Fair
worst thing to have.
do we finish our short rest, Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
You complete a short rest. If you need to spend hit die,
Oh, probably
I did.
You
I rolled
can.
3.
Or if you want to try to take a long rest here, you can try to long rest here, but that's totally your choice.
Keyword try.
Long rest could be good.
I almost rolled a d8 for my hit die, but Rangers into 10.
Long rest, long rest, long rest.
Well, I believe Cleo wanted to scout around. So at the very least, I feel like Zarin, seeing how adamant Cleo was about it, and she pretty much had to be thrown over his shoulder to leave, I feel like Zarin would give her, after the short rest, we can scout around, and then if we can't find anyone or anything, we get on our ships and go long rest off planet.
I agree.
One thing I do also want to mention, I don't
Yes.
I don't want to like role play heavy the scene because it's more of like out of respect for Victoria and Rayla and her character.
Absolutely.
But she did express that I would think that probably right after this short rest, Rayla would approach Cecil. Tears welled up in eyes, but a demeanor that looks purposeful. Like she looks like she is coming at you with intent, Cecil, as she approaches. Her hair kind of frazzled a bit, flowing to the sides, and she looks at you and she says, Cecil, may I borrow your ship? I
Or
have
what?
I have two fallen that do deserve the decency of a proper entry into the Infinity Gate. To deny them that would be an atrocity. Would you do this for me, Cecil?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see it, so I'm gonna come. If that's okay.
She looks frazzled, but one other thing that you notice, Cecil, is she has never asked you for anything or asked for permission for anything. Normally when she wants something, she just gets somebody else to do it or just demands that it be done. And she did not approach that this way. This is the first time she's ever asked you for like permission for anything. And you can see there's some conflict in her mind about you coming along. But she's unsure of how to answer at this current point, and just looks down for a moment and is pondering.
I mean, honestly, the real reason I want to come is because I don't feel like once you finish doing what you're doing, that you're going to be in a good mind space for making your way back. So it'd probably be better for me to drive.
I promise you, Cecil, I will be back. I'm as committed to this now more than ever.
Well, now I just trust you. So sure, take it. Take the keys. Here you go.
Take the keys.
There's no keys.
That's the attunement process of changing it over to Rayla.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the attunement.
Yeah,
Man, that's huge. I wish she was here for this because this is so huge for her.
Yeah,
my
it is.
God.
Yeah, and I hate being the person to roleplay it
I know, but she
because
has
it's
to do
like,
this. She has to
yeah,
do this.
She did at least have the like agency.
because-
Of, like, this is what I want to see happen.
yeah, she did tell me this is what I want Rayla to do, so I'm just trying to do it the best of my ability. without like overstepping my bounds and
No,
getting
you're doing
too
so
deep
good.
into her character. But yeah, she like just a body language standpoint, Cecil, this is different. This is not the same Rayla you've known for the last few weeks, month, however long you guys have been together at this point. It's different. This experience has changed her. And you're confident. You feel this when she says to trust her. It's just something you do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. When she promised to come back, that also was like big for her. So Cecil's like, all right, here you go. It's all yours.
I'll return it without a scratch.
No problem.
I know you've been looking forward to this. She like pats the top of the helm.
Well, you know, I get to drive whatever I want. So that's cool.
Captain can't tell me no, it's my ship.
And that's my ship. I'm technically a captain too.
That's right. So we'll just kind of close the scene there because, like I said, I don't want to overstep my bounds with Rayla's character. So basically, you guys exit the Scorpion ship, and you guys all kind of, there's this scene where you guys are all standing outside watching the Scorpion ship kind of lift off, and you guys, there's the scene where it like zooms in on Rayla's face with like tears in her eyes as she is like flying off looking at all of you down below, and then you see the ship just kind of start to take off into the atmosphere and disappear into the clouds.
Thank you for that, Cecil.
What?
And then the ship comes back and realizes Zalath was still on it, and Zalath.
Sorry, I was using the restroom. I didn't know you were taking off. No, I was gonna ask.
He wasn't on that ship.
He wasn't on
yeah,
it. I was just being
I'm
funny.
assuming all of her other individuals went with her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the cultists went together. So yeah, you guys are left without them. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Captain. I didn't do anything.
You did, though.
I don't have a pickup line for this scenario anymore.
You know, Cecil, a heads up that the ship was going to take off would have been nice.
Well, hey, listen, you know, I just followed my instincts and accepted what was needed to be done. As a captain would. Because I'm a captain too now.
God damn it.
Can we go back to the planet now?
Yes, yes. I'm taking us around back to the base of the mountain. Trying to keep everyone satisfied.
Yeah, right?
I waited my turn, okay.
I'm taking you back, Cleo. It's
We
okay.
promised we would take you back, but it's what we're doing now. Cleo.
Yeah.
Solon kind of looks over at you, Zarin, and says, "Be careful out there, sis. I mean, the lava came to life."
Yeah, I saw that.
I will be so invisible.
You're not going
Nobody will
alone.
see me.
I will be going with you, just
You
in
can
case.
Okay, I can make you hard to see as well.
Okay.
So Cleo is going out,
Yeah,
Yeah,
take
I'm
it
going
down.
And me.
and Zarin
I'm
and
with
I'm not going down. I'm staying. I want to like keep up and keep a visual above them.
okay.
I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace.
Oh, so
Because,
you're
right
gonna
now-
fly the ship above? Is that what you want to do? Is that what you? Okay. Got
And we're
got
Yeah,
it.
they're
like
going
over a
down.
rope, I
Mhm.
guess.
I I would drop you guys off. I drop you guys off. I'd land, drop you guys off, and then hover.
She's in the carpool line.
Gotcha.
You
That's
know?
Just circle the
Okay.
block a few times to come back.
Just turn around.
Fair enough.
Does-
Fair enough.
Does
Yeah.
Cecil remain on the ship, or does Cecil go down as well?
I think Cecil was paying attention and he's like, cleaning up and like making himself feel better. And then the ship starts to take off a little bit. He's like, oh,
Eh,
he throws his spear over the ship.
oh,
Teleports down.
teleports down.
Yeah.
Alright,
Nice.
okay. Yeah. So you guys approach the site again. It's still as you left it. The last, hour and a half, you've been relaxing. There's still the dead bodies that are of the Thracians just laying everywhere here.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace. And then
Okay.
Cleo basically disappears because I just rolled a 14 plus
Right, yeah.
11.
Anybody
plus
who's
the
down
10.
there that would like to make stealth checks, you may make a stealth check with plus 10 with Pass Without
Alright.
a Trace.
24.
There you go.
I mean, I rolled. Okay, my two dice was a 19 and an 18. So the lowest one was a 19 plus 10, so 29. That's actually
20.
very good.
That's
for
very
that.
good for that. Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, my
Yeah, I
total
mean-
is 35 for stealth.
Like,
Where are you? Hello?
yeah, I don't even think
You'll
Zara knows where you
literally
guys
just
are.
disappear.
Like,
Now, Michael, I can't
are
remember.
they down there yet?
I think so. Where? I'm just gonna start circling.
Actually, before I cast Pass Without a
disappeared.
Trace, I do want to look at Caesius and be like, watch this, and then I disappear.
Wow, get wrecked, Caesius. Can you do that?
Hey. Yeah. Like, I do. That's what I do.
Also, the big guy just disappears too.
That well?
There's no way. There's no way. They can. I'm gonna find them. Watch.
And the guy with the negative stealth.
Kaisius is over the edge, like just staring,
Where's
Like-
Waldo?
trying to
He's the one I
find
wanted.
everyone.
I think me and Solon are taking bets to see how long it takes him.
Just for reference, when we return to the ship, I am fully sneaking up behind him to scare the shit out of him. I don't
I
know
will do
why
the same.
Caesius has activated Cleo's competitive spirit, but he has.
He deserves it. He
I
deserves
will. I
it.
will follow Cleo's her lead, and I will
Okay.
also sneak up on him when we come back.
Excellent,
but-
perfect.
Michael, I had a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
I don't think I had the chance because I think when I went up to it, the fight triggered.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
I cast Identify on this thing, or did I not? I can't remember if I did
You-
or not.
You didn't have the opportunity to, because right
Okay.
before you were about to do it, that's when you
what I-
guys heard that voice behind you and those people approaching, and that's what
That's
kind
what
of
I
triggered
thought, okay.
everything. Yeah.
Well, as Cleo's doing whatever she wants to do with it, I will, for 11 minutes, we'll cast Identify on this thing just to see if there's anything that I can help her with. So,
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure. So you already made a perception check on this thing. So what
I
what
think
kind of
Cleo-
describe to me now, like what in specifics, what are you trying to dive deeper into?
I think I'm trying to. So the Ifrit you said was just like a statue. It wasn't an actual
Mhm.
Ifrit. Can I think there's a few different things that Cleo's looking for now that she has time to actually spend on this. I want to see if I can determine if there's a reason why this Ifrit statue is here. Because a portal doesn't necessarily have to have like statues on it. It's just got to be like a thing that you can walk through.
Mhm.
So if there's like a reason that it's here, if it's like contributing something, or if it's like a marker for where it leads to, or something like that. And I also want to look for tracks to see if I can determine where this lady came from when she snuck up on everybody.
So like tracks from like behind this area, like from where-
Mhm.
okay.
To see if I can figure out where she was, and if there's any tracks that would determine like if there's anyone else here, or if there's anything else here that is unseen or undetermined.
So for the Ifrit, the Ifriti check, why don't you go ahead and make... We'll call this Arcana.
Okay.
Just because it's kind of like you're looking at runes and you're trying to decipher what this all says. Do you understand Primordial by chance?
Yes, it
You
is
do?
my
Okay.
native tongue. That's why I
Cool,
have
cool.
an
Oh,
accent.
I'll go ahead and give you advantage on this check.
Oh, okay. I did better the first time. 16 total.
16 total. That's still good enough with your knowledge of Primordial. And you see essences of that language here written, carved in here, along with several arcane sigils and runes that are in kind of intertwined with the language here. You, as you're going through, you've determined that this portal is specific to an Afridi named Kavat. Kevat. So it's not just a general sculpture of an Afridi. It is actually a specific fire genie.
Okay.
That
Do
this,
I know anything about this one?
this one in particular, no, you do not.
Okay. I guess,
Um,
what do I know about Ifriti in general then?
they're...
Because I know what I know. I just don't know what Cleo knows. So.
She probably would know the similarities of what you already know, that they're like... They...
Like they're the top tier fire.
Top tier fire primordials that basically enslave all lesser fire immortals and basically just have them do their bidding. Mm-hmm. Usually have great grand palaces on the fire plane that they call home and do all their wheelings and dealings out of there.
And they tend to make deals.
They make deals, they covet power and riches like pretty much every other evil doer out there as well.
Okay. And yeah, then it's just looking for like any tracks or any signs that there are like hidden caverns or whatever in this mountainside that would lead to anywhere else.
Okay. Go ahead and make a... Let's do survival for this one.
We'll make sure this was a trap.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and do a survival check for this one. Zalath, while you're down there, Cecil, while you're down there, is there anything... Like, I know you guys said you'd be supporting her. Is there anything in specific? Like, did you want to do something else? Or are you guys just kind of like moving around with her and just being there just in case there's danger?
I wanted to actually cast Identify on the...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like,
Yes,
the
right.
structure, or whatever this, like, portal thing is that she said it was, so...
Okay. What about you, Cecil? Was there anything else, anything in particular?
I'm sticking around just to find, like support if
Just
something
kinda-
happens.
Okay. Okay, you got it. Zalath, really, Identify is really just going to confirm pretty much what you already know. This is a portal. These arcane markings that were on it help to activate it from this side. But right now, those arcane markings have been damaged, and it's caused it to be inert and unusable at this current state.
Does it tell me the where the portal leads to by any chance? I don't know if Identify will do that or not. I don't know. So
That's a good question. Let me read Identify really fast one more time, just to be fair.
I mean, it tells you what magic's affecting it. So I mean, I know it's probably conjuration magic because it's teleportation.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know if it would tell me the like location. It would take you, that kind of thing. So
Just magic item or some other magic imbued object. You learn the properties and how to use them. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. The item was created by a spell. You learn which spell created it. Yeah, I would say it probably doesn't tell you where it goes, but with the knowledge that Cleo already has, you're probably pretty certain it definitely goes to the fire plane.
Gotcha.
You probably wouldn't be able to get like a pinpoint. It goes to
exact, yeah.
This exact coordinates in the fire plane. which would be a little bit, ambiguous anyway. So, where it says learn its properties and how to use them, I would say that you would know how to fix it.
Oh.
The problem is it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
So it would just depend. If you guys feel like you have a couple of days, you might be able to repair it.
Gotcha.
But if you feel like you're time sensitive and your time's running short, it might not be worth your while. So it's up to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let Cleo and Cecil know what I found out. It's like, I think I can actually fix it, but it would take a couple days. But it's doable.
Cleo, what did you roll on your survival check?
21.
21. Okay. You do see tracks that lead into a direction. So you guys came up more, it would have been southwest when you approached. These tracks came more directly from the south. And you do eventually find a spot where it seems like people were laying down and hiding in these crags, like rocks. So these individuals were waiting for you when you
I want to
arrived.
see if there's any tracks leading away from that in a different direction to see where they came from when they went to that spot.
Okay.
I would just want to know like their full movement as much as I can on this plan.
They lead you for an extensive period of time to the initial parking space where you found the Scorpion ship.
Okay.
So you can determine from that it was their ship. They landed there, they parked someplace well hidden, got out, and came to this location to hide. With a 21, you do catch a glimpse of a much larger footprint as well. This one seems to be made before these other ones.
I mean,
But
is this near the Scorpion?
It would have been more closer to where the archway was, but you know where you guys had the battle on the other side, that little peninsula bridge area? It was on the other side there. But it definitely looks older because you can see where some other footprints have kind of like, made the side of it, like the ash kind of break away and it really kind of distort the image of it. But this looks like a giant's footprint.
Can I follow that one?
Really, there's only like 1.5, and then it just seems to go into ash because of the it could have been a few weeks old and people have trampled it. Other ash has settled on top of the other tracks. There's really no like trail that leads away. You just see like the indication that a giant has been through here.
I will come back to my friends. So, probably this was a trap from them, but there's also a giant footprint, and I would like to know where the giant went if it's not here.
I mean, is there a reason why?
Well, I mean, there's got to be a reason that they chose this location, right?
I mean, I think they were doing something with the portal, is what we...
Right. I think the giant may be what came out of the portal. I know something came out of the portal.
Okay. I mean, do you see...
And it wasn't them. Originally, my thought was it was them, and then we go through it, and that's maybe her hideout, and then we, sneak in and kill her. But apparently that's not the case. They were just on the ship and landed here and head out for probably a couple weeks, which sounds terrible. I've done it before, but it's not my favorite thing to do. But, there's also this portal with the giant thing.
I mean, do you know, like, is there tracks that lead away from here that you can follow, or
There is a track. There's
just
one.
in the?
One. There's one in footprint, and it doesn't lead in any particular direction.
Then how are we supposed to follow it?
Maybe,
I wasn't going to follow it.
maybe
I was just going to
the
look
big
around.
angry lady. Maybe the big angry lady enlisted the help of the big giant because she needed
Then
something
where was
moved
it?
on the dead god.
But then where was it when they were fighting us?
Maybe it's gone.
It's
The,
not-
the
it's not
other
that
lady
angry,
wasn't.
the other angry lady.
Yeah. So what was her name?
Dementia?
Dementia. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, I didn't see any indication that anyone other than the people that were already here that we killed were here.
What if Dementia didn't get out of her ship and just flew it down, picked up the giant, and flew off to the dead
So,
god?
so she set the giant down for 1 foot, and then
Maybe
picked
it's
him
one.
back
Maybe
up.
it's a one-legged giant.
let me reiterate.
Just
So
hopping around.
imagine you walk on a trail,
Mm.
okay? Several weeks go by. Most of the time, there's other people that walk there. There's dust that settles, wind, weather happens. There's no telling how many things, critters, animals go across. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have a direction or it only stood on there for 1 foot for just a second.
No, Michael,
It just means
I like our idea better. It's a one-legged giant, all right? So I expect
No,
to
I
fight
think
a
the
one-legged giant, Michael.
Fine, I'm rewriting the
think
whole
the
campaign to
giant
include a
came from-
one-legged giant.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think the giant came from the portal.
Did it seem like the giant was wearing shoes, or was it like a barefoot giant? There's a reason I'm asking this.
You can tell that the giant was wearing some kind of footwear.
Maybe it wasn't the giant at all. Maybe it was like Uzilath and they just got very big. And then got small again.
Does this look like a size of like my foot when I'm enlarged kind of thing?
It's bigger.
Yeah, that would be a really big person. I can't get that big.
You get pretty big.
I do get pretty big, but it's
I
not.
think
I'm not that
Dementia.
big.
I think Dementia got a giant. I think Dementia
I think so too. I
got
think
the giant
Sizzle's
and is using the giant.
right.
Or maybe they just have really big feet and they are still like a reasonably sized.
Oh, they
large
just have
person.
so they're like a 5'6" or like like 6'1" or something like that. Just
No,
huge
they're like
feet.
your size and
Okay.
also have huge feet.
Okay, and just have gotcha, and just have this big of those shoes would be expensive.
My
Anyway,
shoes
must
are
be heavy.
expensive and
I-
they're not very big.
I think we head back to the ship and fill in the captain, and we can decide what we want to do from there.
Ballet slippers are very
Go to sleep.
expensive.
I'm sure, yeah.
And they
What's
get
he doing?
destroyed very quickly. Yes, yes.
I just said we could decide what we want to do from there, and I want to go to
I
sleep.
would just like to look around and see if I can find it, but I guess,
Well, don't you think it'd be easier to
There are
find
lots
a
of
giant?
dangerous things here.
Don't you think it'd be easier to find it from the sky though?
I mean, if it was going to be easy, we would have already done it.
Well-
Maybe it's a really sneaky giant. Maybe it can camouflage itself against the rocks. Maybe it's not the giant at all.
No,
Yes.
you almost died.
I did not.
We all almost died, actually, together here. The fire
I
snake.
did sort of almost die.
Yes,
I felt
you
very
both did.
close to
That's why-
dying.
Yes. So
Maybe
think-
you might have hit your head or something, but we probably.
I just hate
get on the
not
ship.
knowing.
we'll figure it out. We'll just let's go back and let's get the captain's what her
We
opinion.
came
is,
here
okay?
to get the captain answers and she got nothing.
Well, not necessarily, because she got those people,
That are now dead and can't give us any information.
she got a fancy new sword.
That's not
Fancy
information. We
report.
still don't know where Dementia is. We have nowhere to go from here.
And a circlet.
And a circlet.
That's not going to help us kill her if we can't find her.
She got the information that they're actually like doing something.
I mean, maybe we can go back to that other ship that had the talkie thingy, and then we can talk to her again. and be like, "Hey, your trap
She
didn't
can
work."
send us on another trap.
We got ya.
Yeah, but we'll be more aware this time.
We're just
We'll
going to
know it's
be
another trap.
traveling around to different traps as she leads us on a
that's-
wild
that's-
goose chase.
That's all this campaign is you guys
Yeah.
just getting trapped every 2
Where
episodes.
in the universe is Carmen Dementia?
What if we just went for the dead god?
I mean, do we know? We don't know where that is, though, right?
We don't
Or
know
do
where
we?
anything is.
Do we know where the
If
dead
we
god
went
thing
to
We've
the
is?
astral
gotten no
sea.
information. The astral sea
So-
is
The astral
huge.
sea.
I
Yeah,
spent
guys-
1,000
Sea is
years drifting the astral sea before I even saw anybody.
you guys would know that the astral sea, you navigate it by knowing where you're going. The
Right,
problem is
Right, so
you have to have somebody who has been there.
Yeah.
If you have somebody who has been there, they can navigate you to wherever it is.
You think the dead people had been there? Maybe we could just have them on
Probably
board
they're
and then-
still dead though, and they
No,
can't
but maybe
guide
all
us
we need is them
anywhere.
on the ship, and the ship will take us there since they've been there.
I don't think
But
that's
we put in
how
that
that
crazy
works.
guy.
I'm not. I
like-
wasn't the navigator on my
Hey, can you
cruise.
think
I
of-
don't know. What was that, Seagull?
Remember that like weird guy that came down and like talked to us and gave us stuff
The map.
after we answered riddles?
The map.
What if we ran into him again and was like, "Hey, take us to the dead god, please"?
I mean, how would we find him? Is the question. Because he just found us randomly before and then ran off.
Oh, no. Oh no.
I think we lost Jamie.
Jamie, we lost Cameron. Oh,
Oh
bye,
no. We lost them all together. Oh,
We lost all of them.
oh, no, he's coming. He's trying.
Jamie. Nope.
He's trying so
Oh,
hard.
Good
I
enough
love
to
that
restart his
Wi-Fi,
laptop
that,
again.
that
That-
hotel
that-
Wi-Fi.
That hotel Wi-Fi gets him
Yep.
every time.
So, Cleo, I think we should go back and get the captain's opinion on what we do next.
Alright.
I mean, because we have to, it's just.
I hate going back to her with nothing.
No, I do too, but we have nothing. So like we can't find something when there's nothing.
If
So
I keep looking, maybe it will
I don't
find
think
something.
I don't think that's how that works, Cleo. Sorry. It's okay to find nothing sometimes. Maybe nothing is sometimes better than finding something.
To be fair, Zern was doing perception checks. I don't know if that'll help, like, while I'm circling around to see
Yeah,
if I
she
can
see a
go
giant?
Go ahead, make one. Make one. Yeah, you can make one.
She just sees a
Alright.
giant walking across like in the distance and we're just down here.
Oh, I rolled really bad on roll D&D Beyond.
What is it? 11. You
11.
don't see anything.
That's
you,
alright, I don't see anybody.
you have no idea where they went.
I'll give them like 15, 20 minutes, and then I will like hover around where I dropped them off. I'm not gonna like abandon them.
You hear Caesius look at you and go, "Over there, there, look.
Look,
You see
where?
that?
No.
Right-
What are you
right there,
pointing at?
That's one of their heads. Look, you see it? It's bobbing.
Is he just messing with me?
Insight check.
As you're
It's like
looking,
check
you
it.
don't see a damn thing. Like, I mean, he's like looking. You can tell he's trying to fabricate it.
Yeah.
I smack him upside the back of the head.
I thought it was them. Okay. I'm
It was a tree.
I'm getting closer. I'm gonna find him.
All right.
I'm gonna find him. I gotta find him.
I just look at Solon and shake my head.
Cleo, let's go sneak up on
Yeah, oh, there
Solon
you
just
go.
sighs
So
and then
here's
turns
my
around and walks
plan.
away.
So I'm gonna like sneak up behind him, and I'm going to put my knife in his back and just be like, freeze.
Okay. I mean that's a little aggressive, but sure, let's do it.
Listen, this guy thinks he's better than me, and I've got to prove him otherwise.
I mean, he thought he was better at lockpicking doors than I was, and I showed
well,
him.
okay.
I mean, that door came open.
You're better with doors. I don't know about the lock picking doors.
I mean, that lock was open.
Not. That's. No, it wasn't. It was
It what?
technically still locked. It just was,
It was
off
not.
the hinges.
Well, they need a better lock.
Or some better hinges.
I just think it's better hinges, really.
Like, I believe in you. I know you will be better than him with locks, but I just don't think that's the case yet. But you're definitely better with doors.
Yes. No door can stop me.
That's right. No door. Unless there's a sock on the door, then you stop.
Oh,
Oh no, no, you can't.
So, was there something Cecil wanted to say when you lost your connection there? I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure we didn't go on without you getting to voice that.
I was just saying if we could find that guy, maybe he could like point us in the right direction or get us there or something. But I don't know how we would find that guy.
Yeah, the problem is he also just randomly showed up and then left, so finding him would also be difficult.
We could try.
Oh, sure. Of course, we could try anything. Okay.
Back to the ship.
She's going to be very disappointed.
I don't think she will be.
I think you're overthinking it a little bit.
I agree.
Okay.
I think she will appreciate our attempt into trying to find more. So, let's go.
I'm gonna sneak up on Caesius.
Yes.
Okay, so is there a rope hanging down from the ship? Okay. So you guys are going to try to sneak up the rope onto the ship.
Yes.
Without a trace.
Pass without a trace, I will say, is probably barely still up. Wait, no. Because you guys walked like almost a mile back to where that ship used to be parked. So you'd have to recast Pass without a trace.
I can't recast it.
Okay, so you don't have your plus 10, but if you guys want to try to stealth it, you can.
I will.
Or if you guys want to lay back and let Cleo just go.
Well, if I feel like that the shadows aren't clinging to me as like they were when with the spell active, I will let Cleo do it by herself.
Okay.
I'll let her go up first, and then
I think Cleo's not going up the rope because Cleo still has her radiant soul, so she's gonna pop her wings and fly from the back, and then sneak up behind him that way.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check, and we'll contest it against Caesius's passive here.
27.
Okay, well, he's not going to come close to that.
I have a plus 11 stealth, you guys. So this is the highest. I'm usually a cleric, and I have no stealth.
I don't think even Zarin would realize that you landed back on the ship.
I have a passive of 17, so no.
Okay, yep. So no one sees you coming. What is it that you do? You can see Caesius is still looking over the side of the ship towards the rope area and just peering down. Looks desperate.
I'm not going to do a knife. Zalat is right. That is a bit much. So I'm just going to like put my hands over his eyes.
Who is it?
Oh, Windward. What? How did you get here?
I flew.
Oh, yeah, you can do that, can you?
Sometimes. Only for a minute.
So you left everybody else alone?
Fine. They're climbing up the rope.
No, they're not. Oh.
Hi.
Well, you climbed that rope really fast.
Hey guys, I don't think I can climb the rope.
Oh,
Yes,
well,
what?
no. These will be on like you can hold onto my back while I climb the rope.
Okay.
Just like wrap the rope around him and pull him up like a little egg.
Or that, yeah.
So what'd you find? Did you find any information?
We found nothing.
There's a giant.
Nothing.
There's a giant somewhere with one leg.
A one-legged giant.
Yes.
It may not be a one-legged giant. We were
You only
getting
saw
a bit
one
silly at
footprint.
it.
There was a giant footprint out there.
Yeah, but the rest of the footprints had been eroded over time and stuff. And then I found, where they came from. There really wasn't much of anything to find.
That's not surprising.
Although this wire portal is very interesting, but I think probably relevant.
I
That's something I'm coming back for later.
I can definitely get it working again. It's just gonna take a few days, and I don't even know if that's gonna help us in finding what we want to find. So
It's probably best to keep it closed, to be honest.
Although, it is interesting that there was this Ifriti statue that, you know, but they didn't come through the portal, so it's probably not relevant. But the Ifritis are like big time, you know, deal making, evil sort of.
we think that whatever
So-
made this giant footprint came to the portal, and maybe is what broke it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
possibly, but there's no way to know because the
Yeah.
the
Very
footprint
true.
was near it, but it wasn't like right in front of it. So
We did figure
I
out
think
that
the giant's going
scorpion-
to the dead god. That's what I think.
I could see that too. Maybe they needed a big individual to like move things. Also, we did find out the scorpion
or
ship
lots
was
of blood.
theirs.
I mean, I knew that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's mine now. So
Technically, it's Solon's.
Solon didn't steal it. I did. So finders keepers.
Diesel is a pirate.
Got you there. I'm sure we can find more.
Captain, what do you any idea of our next move?
To be honest, no. Maybe we go back.
Sorry. I wanted to look around a bit more and see if I could find this giant, but
No.
honestly, it seems kind of irrelevant. It's just something I sort of wanted to do. So
Well, Captain, I had this genius idea that
What's
you know
that?
we could try. We could go to the actual sea and try to find that guy and get him to take us to the dead god.
What guy?
the map.
Oh. I mean, I suppose that's an idea.
It is certainly an
It's
idea.
like we can just cut right to the chase, go to the dead god, take care of business. We can, you know.
Well, at the very least, I feel like we should get out of here. This feels like nothing but a shitty trap.
And the portal to the fire plane. I want so that we have to come back here later. Like I have to,
Oh, yeah, we could totally come back here later.
and then fix the portal and see what's on the other side.
I mean, that might be a little dangerous, but sure, we can do it.
Well, you know, we could get
I mean,
a
it's
little.
kind of hot.
It's you know.
It's making me boil a little bit.
Oh, that's not good. I was going to say I like it hot, but you don't. So I guess maybe we could do that.
Yeah, look, my bubbles are moving.
That's pretty funny. You got lots of tiny little bubbles in you.
Yeah, I wonder if
Oil.
Cecil spends enough time on like the fire planet, like and
Just
hangs
start
out for a
boiling.
while, and then he
Just
can
turn
like
it to steam.
do like his melee attacks, do an additional five fire damage.
You just
That'd be
run the
hilarious.
steam, yeah.
Because he's
I think that's
basically
great.
boiling water. hitting
Yeah, I think
people.
that's a great mechanic, Mike. Good job. Yeah, we're gonna
Just slash people in the face with his fist. That's for another campaign.
That's right.
But I don't really know what our next course of action
Well,
is.
Well, the maps
We-
were telling that there was also maybe something going on at Kictonic's planet, right?
Well, we also have to wait for Rayla.
Well, yeah.
He's coming back.
Just the next move after that is like where we're going after that.
Alright,
You
Zaren's
guys,
looking at the
you guys would
journal.
know too that Rayla will be able to find you wherever you
Yeah,
go.
she can message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll message him if he's coming back.
I feel like we're missing something.
I'm really sorry, Captain. I looked everywhere. There's just
Don't-
nothing.
No, don't be
You should
sorry.
have kept one of those guys alive.
They probably should have, but I don't think we would have gotten much out of them, to be honest. They're usually well trained, especially her. She wouldn't have given us anything.
Did we check their papers for like hidden messages?
For like codes?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think you have.
they might have some information in the papers that we stole from their ship.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I'm gonna bring it to my brothers and see if the three of us can, like, with our collective knowledge of how our armies operate and intelligence operate, see if we can pick up anything that they might have left subtly.
Okay. Yeah, Go ahead and make an investigation check. I'll give you advantage if you have your brother's help.
Sure, but I suck at it. No, Bob. You're not in here right now. I don't trust D&D. This is gonna be a -1 to whatever I roll.
Natural 20.
20 with a -1, that's a 19.
19 is still
No,
good. It's still
negative.
good. Scouring these things. It's several maps of worlds that have those, like somebody took basically like a red crayon and just drew these like orbital lines. Almost like, yeah. What is that? What is that old thing I used to have when I was a kid that you could like put a pen in it and then you... What is
It's a spirograph.
A spirograph. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So it almost like syncs up at different places, but then it's off-centered and it just keeps this like even pattern as it goes. And it looks as if these are placements to where if you wanted to, like, thinking in our terminology out of game, like if you were going to put like if NASA was going to put a satellite in orbit, you know, they would find out, okay, this is where we need to place it or whatever. This is how we need to get it there to do this. That's what these, to you, that's what these are with your natural 20 are indicating. Like, this is where we're going to put something to orbit.
Okay.
You don't see any secret messages, even scouring through all this. But then Solon kind of looks at you and says,
If this was her, she wouldn't put any of this in writing.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be dead. All her
Right.
followers believe that we are dead. If there's any indication out there that we are alive, it could be a threat to her power. She would never put that in writing.
Can we connect these in any sort of way? Maybe like that overlaps and crosses, like where there's a meeting point in the middle that could indicate maybe that's where the dead god's body is?
it's kind of hard the way the astral sea works. Is
That's
everything is always shifting. Even wild space systems are always kind of shifting and moving. That it's not really like, you can't really map it out like that. Because it's all based off of, you know, like I said, you know, your thoughts is what gets you to places in the astral sea. Not so much as like physical directions.
Have we, out of character, have we fought Zik Malaz yet?
Yes, you killed him.
Okay.
Remember, he was the one that, when you talked to Dementia,
He
You
was
basic-
like salty.
yeah, and you guys basically opened his spot, and that's why she said, "Oh, come over to Shydes, and we'll do an interview." Now hiring.
I think we have to fix the portal.
I don't know if the portal has anything to do with it though. They didn't come out of the portal.
I don't think there's any way that this is a red herring that Dementia sent us here. There has to be a reason. And I don't think that I think it's too convenient for us to be able to call this a trap. I think the trap is the red herring, and there's more information to be gathered here than we have. And I think the information's going to be on the other side of the portal.
Okay. Well, at the very least, we need a few days to fix it, right?
Yeah, it's
Correct.
going to take us a couple days.
Well, let that be tomorrow's problem. Let's take the ships up to space, have a long rest, in relative safety. I still think we should probably have watches to make sure that we're not ambushed again.
Sounds good to me.
And I don't have to sleep, so.
Okay. And I can still wait to hear back from... I can't remember his name. The contact I sent to try and get the information back to our
Gordimus.
planet. Gordimus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically you got the message back that he would, as best as his ability, with
Try
his
to
ability,
subtly get that information.
try to subtly get the
people.
information to the people. Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna take time. All right. I'll take us back up.
So here's a
Leave
thought.
planet.
What happens if you and your brothers go back to your home planet?
I was
Because
already
you guys
thinking
were just
about that.
talking about how that threatens her, right?
Right.
So we just walk in the door and be like, "Ha! We are back," and then we kill her. Not you, me. But we can kill her. We can be like the assassins that like sneak in the wings, kill her, and then you're not like held accountable.
I mean, I'm still held accountable. I'm technically on the run, according to propaganda. I'm on the loose. In
Yeah, but
danger.
once you're in charge, you get to write the story.
The only way to rewrite that story is for the people to know that Solon is still alive.
Right. That's why
My
you
concern-
and Solon and Kaisias walk in the front door, and then we kill her, while everybody's looking at you guys, so they know you didn't do it.
As much as I would love to just rush in there and behead her, it's not that easy, and I don't know who is still on our side. I don't know how manipulative she's been. She may have already spun it that Solon was unworthy, knowing her.
Well, she can't say anything if she's dead. I don't know. Like this is not my area. I hunt monsters most of the time. So really, what you do is you like you make a distraction and then you sneak up behind it and kill it.
Yes.
It's usually the best way to do it.
I appreciate you all wanting to help us with this, but there is not enough manpower on the ship to do it alone. My hope would be to get the information back first, and hopefully there would be signs of a resistance that I can work with. If there is no resistance, if our people don't want us back, she is a smart woman, if anything else. She will not be caught unaware, especially if she found out that I was coming to this place and had this trap waiting. She knows that I'm coming for her. She might not know about my brothers, but she knows I'm coming. It will not be a surprise.
Going to be a surprise if win.
I truly don't believe that this was actually a trap. I truly believe that it's a trick, because we know that this was visited 2 weeks ago or something,
Yes.
And the
Yeah, that's when
runes,
they landed.
and that's when the runes
They
were
were doing
destroyed.
something here for sure.
They
I'm
landed
looking
here
back
and disabled the
on-
portal so the fire thingies wouldn't come out and attack them while they were waiting for us.
I mean,
Or
looking
they
at
just
entry
built the portal
3,
because they had left.
looking at
they-
entry 3
they
of the
destroyed
journal,
the-
it says that they had at least some of a gathering here, that they needed assistance here for something, and it might have been for the portal. They needed assistance at this site specifically.
Right. And it's possible that rather than seal the portal to stop things from coming out, they sealed the portal so people can't figure out what happened inside.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to at least figure out.
I mean, I'm in favor. I want to go on the other side of that portal really badly.
Well, let's start with what we have in front of us, what we have to work with. We could always go back to Thrace as a last-ditch effort when Rayla gets back, but I think for now, I think Cecil is right. At the very least, we don't have any other leads. I do believe this was a trap, but I don't believe Nelima knew she was going to win. It was just, if they won, that would have been a happy bonus. But I don't think she expected that. So I'll take us back up. We can take a long rest, and then I guess we'll take Salath down to see if he can fix it in the morning.
I can help
It's gonna
you
take
fix
him.
it,
It's
I
gonna
think.
take him a couple days, but
Yeah, you said so.
yeah.
What do you need? I guess is the question. Like, is there anything that we can do to help you?
I mean, it's not really like you have to know what you're kind of doing to help. So, I mean,
Right, magic and shit.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't
know.
know rune stuff, but I know planes and portals, so maybe I can help.
Leo could probably help you then.
yeah.
We'll stay above.
I think the thing that you all could do to help the most is make sure that nothing sneaks up on us while we're
Yeah,
doing it.
watch your back.
So, yeah. Because I'll be focusing on this. I won't be able to keep my surroundings in check
Okay.
too. So.
All right. Yeah, it's a start.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing gets past me. My reflexes are too fast.
I'm
I
gonna put
will
a
say-
4th level spell in the ring, by the way.
Ooh.
While we're just standing.
Okay. Mhm.
Oh yeah, you have the ring of storing.
Yeah, I
I
really
do.
gave it to him. Yeah.
Do you want like cure wounds or anything?
Nope, I filled it up.
You filled it up.
Okay, so the plan was to fly back up into like orbit.
We're orbiting to sleep.
Orbiting to sleep. Okay.
Long rest.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you guys begin your long rest, and I believe that is a great time for us to take our break for the evening.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break there. I forgot to mention, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, may the 5th be with you.
May the
I was gonna say Revenge of the
Yeah,
Sith, right?
Revenge of the Fifth. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We started rewatching Rebels today, so I'm like,
Nice. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break, everybody. We'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes after we get a drink and take a quick stretch, opportunity to stretch. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
And welcome back, everybody. We're so glad that you've joined us tonight for some Spelljammer Lost Divinity here at Proficiency Bonus. Oh, yeah. You guys have just completed a long rest while you were orbiting Shydes. Your plan was that you had planned to return to the surface once you guys have got rested up. To see if there was, or if Zalath could indeed repair this portal to the fire plane. But before that happens, Zarin, you're standing on the deck of your vessel after a much needed and well-deserved rest. You're standing there for a second, and then all of a sudden you just squint your eyes a bit, and out there in the distance, while your ship is orbiting, you see something moving, and it looks like it's coming your direction. It just looks like a moving blue spot at first, and then it starts to shift and change, and then you see another like blue spot like shift out from it. It's almost as like something is swimming through space rapidly together, and it looks like it's kind of coming towards you. And as it gets closer and closer, you start to see these are not very small at all. As they're getting closer to you, these look like massive Kandori, which are space whales.
Space whales.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And you can you want one?
I know, me too. I'm so excited.
And they're swimming through space in your direction rapidly with purpose.
Uh-oh.
And you can hear whale calls throughout space as they are calling to one another. You guys would know that space whales, these Kandori, they don't really have like mouths. Their mouths don't really open per se, but they do have like multiple like rows of these glowing they have multiple like glowing eyes on the front, and they kind of like swim through. It looks like 3 of them are swimming, but then you notice there's something dark swimming amongst them, and it almost appears as if it is attacking or going in to strike at these. And when you look closer, these things are trying to defend themselves and dodge this thing coming in. What do?
I'm so used to playing Ribbon. Is there like a comms on the ship that I can let everybody know what's going on? Everyone, all hands on deck.
You can just yell and start
Yeah,
shouting
just
it.
gonna
Yeah. Okay.
Incoming.
Face up to the deck.
All right. Cleo heads up to the deck. Cleo, at that time, like, you immediately see the same thing as you can look in the direction Zarin is looking. Cecil, if you're stepping up on the deck too.
I imagine
Solon.
Cecil would be at the helm if Captain was sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, you can still, I mean, you can leave the helm and go up there. I mean, you're just kind of orbiting right now, so whatever you guys need to do right at this moment.
I'll come over.
We will just save the whales.
We gotta save the whales! I
Yeah,
love whales!
All right. I guess man the weapons. I'll go sit in the seat.
Okay. So you guys
Yeah,
are.
I think Zarin takes one look at how excited everyone is about this. Like, all right, I guess we can do this thing.
Solon and Caesius would also aid in being able to take up weapons, to take up spaces if needed. So they'll just kind of follow suit to help you guys out. Yeah. So
Can I like bank around to like get a better visual of what's attacking them? 'Cause,
Yeah,
like, they're coming
absolutely.
straight at us, so could I like go
Yeah.
around to see what's?
yeah, it looks like they're
Yeah.
very busy doing whatever it is that they're doing, and they're not really like concerned with you guys. They're focused on their own little struggle right now. So
Right.
yeah, you can kind of start banking around, and you start to get a closer view. And when you do, you guys all notice this. On the back of one of the Kandori, somebody is riding on the back of one of them. It looks like from the distance, it looks like a female humanoid is on the back of one of these Kindori, and you get a closer look at this thing that's kind of attacking and giving chase. And I'm going to show you the handout in Roll20 of what it actually looks like. And some of you who have experience, a vast experience here in Wild Space, will know what this is as soon as I can find it to get it up there for you. Here it is. I'm going to show to everyone, and this is what you guys see. Okay.
Oh.
Chasing, it looks like basically a shark mixed with an anglerfish, and it is massive. Probably at least 15 to 20 feet in length, and even in girth too. The massive mouth that opens, there's this blue glow from the inside of his mouth, and you can see it has anglerfish-like teeth that are like needle points that stick up and down on the top and bottom, and multiple rows as well. And it has this one glistening, glowing eye in the center of its head that seems to emit this bright light from its face. And you see it try to like
aim at that thing.
And as you're getting closer, you can see the Kindori are doing all they can. Like, they're doing like these little barrel rolls as this thing kind of lunges towards them, swims through them. And it's not really getting a good strike on them. They're being pretty good about dodging. One of the Kindori actually takes its tail and swipes at it. Doesn't get a direct hit, but knocks it off course a little bit as it's coming in to kind of dig its teeth into its flesh. And you can see that the whale calls are going. They're communicating with one another on their tactics as they all stick together to try to avoid this threat. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and everyone can roll initiative?
Holy.
Evil shark. Evil shark.
You got it.
Space shark. Space shark.
I just had a crazy idea.
By evil
That is
shark
kind of
with
our-
the space shark.
23 for Cleo.
19 for Zarin. And 14 for Zalath.
You said 19 for Zarin?
Yes.
Okay. And a 14 for Zalath?
Yeah.
Alright.
He says BRB.
Okay. What did you get, Cecil?
Wow.
12. Okay, so that's alright. So I gotta get Solon on there. Solon rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
Oh, buddy.
He doesn't give a fuck about oil. Fuck you so much.
Oh, Caesius rolls a natural 20.
Caesius really cares about the whales.
But what's his total is the question.
I'm gonna have to check. I gotta pull his character sheet out really fast.
I was just thinking it would be really funny if Kai got a 20 if someone got a 1. It happened.
This is competition between Cleo and Caesius right here, so I've got to know. Oh, I went too far on my.
I think he's got the drop on me this time.
Here he is. I don't know. Oh gosh. What's your dexterity?
5. Natural. It's 20, so 5 plus 5.
Oh, you broke the tie.
It's even better when it's like right there and I'm just barely ahead of him. That's much even sweeter.
Gotta get one more thing up and we'll be ready to roll.
20 feet.
There I am. Okay.
All right, first to go in this circumstance is Cleo.
Okay. How close are we to the scary shark thing?
I would say that if you guys are swinging around, you guys are probably at 100 feet distance right now.
I can shoot from 120 feet without disadvantage. So, do I want to do that, or do I want to do the crazy thing? Is the question. I think I'm going to actually summon my shark.
Okay. So you're gonna summon your shark. This is more gonna be theater of the mind. There's no map for this, so it's just gonna be for this encounter. So is it an action to summon your shark?
It is.
Okay.
It's a summoning spell.
So you guys see Cleo performing some incantations and with a flash of energy appearing back around you is the flying purple shark.
So here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that this shark is strong enough to carry a person? Because it swims in space, and I have a couple friends who have to be like right up on top of something in order to like.
I would
do their
let
thing.
it. I would let one person on it. I think it would be able to take one person, one medium humanoid.
Yeah. So Zilla, are you planning to get very large?
I have no clue what
Okay.
I'm doing.
Okay. Well, Zarin or Zalath, one of you can like use the shark as a mount to get in close. Well, do you need to get in close, Cecil?
I mean, I would always love to ride a shark.
Well, you can ride the shark anytime. We're talking about riding it in for combat.
Yeah. I mean, if I got close enough before we fought the thing, I could try to make it my friend.
The big guy, the ugly guy, the monster. I want to be the friend with the whales.
Yeah, no,
I can't cast both.
that's fine. We can kill it.
I mean, it's up to you. I've summoned the shark. What we do after that is up to you guys. Summon the shark, and whoever wants to use it can use it. And then I will also, as a bonus action, go ahead and use my planar warrior to mark this creature.
Oh, you're gonna mark it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got it.
Just means that I do extra damage to it if I hit it. So.
Extra damage. Got it. All right. So that will end Cleo's turn, bringing us to Caesius, who doesn't really have anything for this range. So
Do we have
he's
weapons on this ship?
You do. You have 2 ballista. So he's going to run over to a ballista, and he is going to use his action to load a bolt into the ballista. So that's what Caesius will do on his turn. And that brings us to Zarin, who is next up on with a Zalath on deck.
Is it an action to like move the ship? If I want to like, because I'm on the helm, I'm assuming. So if I want to like get us closer.
Okay, I think the way that it works is you basically use your move action to move the ship.
Okay.
You can still cast, but you can still do stuff, but you have to remember that you are concentrating
Right.
when you're driving the ship. So
Right.
You can't do things that will break your concentration on the actual vessel.
Can I? Since I do have the circlet, can I use a chaos bolt from the helm? If I use my movement to get us closer? Or is that breaking concentration?
I'll allow it, because it's psychic.
Yeah. Alright. I
allow
will get us closer, and I will.
Rule of cool,
Tell
man. Let's
Solon-
have some fun.
Yeah, I'll tell Solon to help a brother on the ballista, and I will throw out a chaos bolt.
Okay. Throwing it out towards. What's the range on Chaos Bolt?
120 feet.
There you go.
But I'm getting us closer with my movement. I don't know
Okay.
how close I can get us, but
I think, what was the movement speed on that vessel? It was pretty intense. I think it was fast. Do we have the stats up for that somewhere? Did we put those up somewhere?
I have no idea.
Okay, let me, I think the stats on that are pretty good with speed. Let me double check my sources. It is a Shrike ship, and they have a speed of
I should have.
70 feet.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll
you
get
fly,
us-
you get us within 30 feet of the creature.
Does a 15 hit the creature?
Does a 15 hit? A 15 does hit.
Okay, so I think that. 7 psychic damage total.
7 psychic. All right. So at first, whenever you hit this thing, the blast kind of like jets out of your circlet, out through like the glass where you guys can kind of see through. But it's like it's a spell and it's basically psychic, so the visual image just doesn't like break the glass. It just kind of like goes through and targets right towards the Scarver, making contact to it. You don't, or the Scaver. You don't think that you don't now that you hit it, you don't even realize it that it even noticed that you guys were coming, but now it like turns in your direction. You can see that bright shining eye looking directly at the ship. What else would you, anything else you'd like to do? If there's that everything that you got.
Double checking.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm not close enough to do any bonus actions at the moment, so I think that is all I can do for now.
Okay. All right, you got it. Zalath, you are next.
All right, so this thing is way out of my reach. So
Well, it's 30, yeah, it's 30 feet right now.
yeah, I will just hold an action if it gets within range of me, and I will punch it. Because I don't have my weapon, so I'm still just using my new armor. So
I mean, use the shark to get closer.
You could use the shark to get you up there. You don't have any weapons?
he doesn't. He hasn't. It's ever since he got his new armor, he hasn't been carrying
Oh.
weapons at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think he would get on the shark. He doesn't
Alright.
like being off the ship while flying like in space. So, yeah, he'll just hold his action to punch anything that is dangerous that comes within range. So,
Okay. So the Knight's Scaver is next to go on the initiative. And I'm gonna roll a d6 to see who he goes after.
and of course, I went up to the edge of the ship, so I'm, by as close as I could be to it.
Okay. Zalath, you were the lucky roll.
Perfect.
As it looks at you like heading up towards the edge of the ship, and it starts to swim rapidly in your direction through space. It has a speed of 40 feet, so it's going to get to the vessel and get right next to you and try to swoop down with its massive teeth, which will trigger your attack.
Okay. Well, here we go. 15. Does that hit?
15 hits.
Okay. Take 10 thunder damage.
10 thunder damage from your punch.
Yeah, as
Damn.
I wind up and just like hit it right in the nose, as you're supposed to do
shark.
for a shark.
Winds up directly, like straight on, hits it in the nose.
It does this thing where the impact forces it to close its mouth, and it swims and does kind of like this backflip in the air, then swings back around, opens its mouth back up, and tries to like scoop you up with its teeth.
Also, the creature, I know it's going after me, but the creature has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than me until the start of my next turn.
Okay, other than you. Okay.
Yeah, other than me. So it's still normal against me, but if it chose to go after anybody else, it would be a disadvantage.
Disadvantage on others.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it only lasts until the start of my turn. So
Start of your turn. Got it. All right. So it comes in and attacks you. It's going to make a bite attack against you. 26 to hit.
yes, that hits.
That hits.
Even with my new armor class of 21, it hits.
And as these teeth like gouge into your armor, you suffer 27 points of piercing damage. And you kind of roll off to the side, and it swims by, twisting as it goes, doing a barrel roll of its own as it swims kind of out towards the edge of the vessel right beside you. That ends its turn, bringing us to...
I will. No, I've already used my reaction. I can't do it. Never mind.
Well, he's technically like he's not going out of your range.
No. I was gonna stone endurance.
Oh, okay.
Reduce the damage, but I've already used my reaction to use
Got
my
it.
punch.
To use your punch. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so Cecil, you are up.
Well, since nobody else jumped on the shark, I'm gonna jump on the shark.
Okay.
Then I'm going to take off my jacket, throw it at the big, scary guy, and summon my shadow spawn.
Okay.
So you see a female pirate figure appear on the back of the creature, and then she, I believe, makes attacks as soon as I pass. She takes her turn immediately after me.
Okay.
And then I will summon, with my bonus action, my tentacle next to the creature and try to hit it with tentacle.
Okay.
No, probably not.
Okay. Does your tentacle does it just like hover in space, like there's nothing it has to sit on or anything like that?
Yeah, it just hovers.
Okay. Got
Out
it.
of a little portal.
What did you roll?
It was a 2 plus 7.
No, that
So
won't
a
hit.
9. Yeah. But then that's my turn, and then my thing goes.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So sorry, it's the last. Any creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of her has its speed reduced by 20.
Gosh. Okay.
And then she can make a multi-attack. So 10 to hit with the first one.
That's gonna miss.
Oh no, I'm sorry. A 12.
12 is still gonna miss.
All right. And 30-20 for the second one.
That will hit.
It takes 12 plus 3, 15 plus the spell's level, which is 4 now. So 19 points of cold damage
Wow. That's a lot.
as she brings down a spectral scimitar.
So that's what she's doing. She's got like this spectral scimitar, and she's just like bringing it down, like just like stabbing down into the shark. Yeah, the first time it goes to strike true, but these things have pretty good natural armor. Like it's like their flesh is kind of hard, so just like making an impact strong enough to go through and pierce and do damage is difficult. But the second one you can see strikes true as it goes down, and you can see the Skaver trying to like maneuver and like do turns and stuff, knowing that something is damaging it upon its back.
Yeah.
The end. End of your turn.
Yeah, that's the end of it all.
All right, the Kandori actually go next, and it seems like they're just swimming kind of around the ship now as they see you guys kind of come in and engage. And you can see that that woman that was on the back of the center one kind of makes eye contact with you guys for a moment, and you can see this look of a little bit of questionable, like, who are these people, but then also a little bit of relief as well as you guys have come into the scene. But that's all they're really going to do is move and maneuver. Uh-oh, we lost them again. And Solon actually is just going to follow your orders and goes up, grabs the ballista that's loaded, and turns it into the direction of the Skaver. But that's all he can spend his action on. The next action will be to fire it. So that's the end of our first round. So we go to the second round, which begins with Cleo again.
I'm going to activate my Radiant Soul so I can fly. Do my whole magical girl transformation, and then I will fly behind the shark thing.
Okay.
And then my shark is going to attack it.
Okay. And Cecil, you're still on the back of the shark, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has advantage because of pack tactics. So.
Okay.
That is, let's see. Where is its attack? My spell modifier. Okay. Where is that? It's a +6. So that is a 23 to hit.
That hits. Very much so.
Alright. 8 damage.
8 points of damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it only gets one attack because it's a level 2 spell. So, yes.
So Cecil, on the back of the shark swims up to the other shark and bites into the side of it. It starts to like rip and tear back and forth, peeling some flesh away from it.
Yeah. Yep. That is my turn because it's a full action to activate my Radiant Soul.
All right. Caesius hollers over in Cecil's direction.
Cecil, duck!
And fires the ballista.
Oh no!
Oh
I swear
boy.
to all the gods, don't nat one.
Caesius, if you kill my best friend, I will kill you.
The bolt goes flying over the shark and disappears into wild space.
Shit!
You saw it through history!
Now, come on, I know you could do better than that.
Listen,
Obviously,
I'm used
we'll
to
rusty
knives and
training.
throwing stars. I'm not used to this stuff. This is like heavy weaponry. I don't do stuff like this.
That's because you skipped that class.
Sis, shut up.
Honestly, Captain, you're kind of sounding like my mom right now. She's like, you got to read more books, but not the kind of books you usually read.
Excellent. That ends Caesius' turn. And brings us to Zarin with Zalath on deck.
Alright, do I feel like I could get to the creature if I left the helm? Like, could I reach it? I have 35 speed.
You could reach it, but it would cost you all your movement.
All of my movement.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's try.
All right.
As a bonus action, the new sword, I'm gonna activate it.
Oh. So
And
you guys see Zarin speaking some words under her breath, and all of a sudden this sword illuminates with this bright purple glow.
have a lightsaber, and I
You have a
fall for
lightsaber.
this. May the force be with you. I'm gonna just run straight at it and do 2 swings with the lost spot blade.
All right, you got it.
See how we do. Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, I'm not used to a lightsaber apparently.
Oh, that one.
That one.
Okay,
Oh.
if this one screws me, I'm just rolling real dice. I was trying to like be lazy, but maybe.
That's why I use D&D Beyond.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
That's better.
17.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah, that
Okay,
hits.
good. I'm gonna also smite for missing out on the first one.
Okay. I think the first one, you were so excited to get up there and illuminate that you just kind of took your eyes off the target for just that brief moment, and you actually take it and you put like a mark in like the railing of the ship, like you like then pick it back up
Don't worry,
and
Captain,
regain
we
your-
can fix that. It's alright.
Well, I saw nothing.
No, I definitely saw you do that, but it's fine.
You hear Caesius from over the ballista.
Okay, and then I get the 2d6.
Oh, look at that! Like you rolled max on something.
Yeah. And then I roll.
Alright. Yeah, an additional 2d6. Psychic.
Also, the normal damage of the weapon, too. You didn't roll that.
Isn't that
Am
what that
I?
14 is?
I think that's what the
That's-
14 is.
Oh, right, you do
Yeah.
will. My bad. I forgot you, or you two-hand.
I two-hand.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
you two-hand.
two-hand.
My bad.
That's an additional 8.
8.
And then I'm gonna smite. How do I smite? Divine smite. I'll do it at 2nd level, because why the hell not? So that's 3d8.
Correct.
These paladins and those smites, gosh.
I 15 smite damage on top of that.
Oh. So as Zarin carves into this thing, and that combined blast of purple energy combined with your smite just sends this shockwave across the deck of the ship with
Blood
this
red
with
and
this
purple,
smite.
hell yeah.
Oh yeah. And there's a big gash carved into the side of this Knight Scaber's flesh.
I believe
It's-
that is my entire
It's looking
turn.
it's looking bloodied. There's a laugh. You're
I
up.
look at Caesius like, see that? I did that.
But you can't forget that first one, sis. That was classic.
You want me to shoot him? I can shoot him.
Hold on to that thought. This
Alright.
first.
So I am going to use my giant's might as a bonus action. So I enlarge,
Giant smite.
Mhm.
and then I am, as my action, I'm going to use booming blade on my fist, and so like it starts to glow and like more like my fist starts kind of like vibrating a little bit,
Okay.
and I'm just going to swing at it and try and punch this shark again.
Okay.
Oh, man.
And I rolled a natural 1.
No, you didn't.
Of course I
No,
did.
you
This
didn't.
is Tuesday all over again.
D&D Beyond.
No.
It's D&D Beyond. It's fine. We just need to roll real dice, Derek. We're
I
being
don't
lazy.
want to roll. I don't want to roll real dice. It calculates everything for me. I don't have to do math or anything. So I rolled a 1. I will action surge though,
Oh, there we go.
and I will try and do this again. So I'm
Roll
going
better.
to. I'm going to-
Before you do that, I do want to say this. You hit the
this railing of the deck, the exact same place that Zarin just hit with the sword. So you just like see some wood like splinter out, and the part of the ship. There's like it's not like it's the railing, but the railing has been shattered in that spot, and some of it's just like floating into space.
I can fix it. I can fix that.
That's gonna take a lot longer, but I can still fix that. God.
I can fix it.
So I'm gonna do this
You
same
got
thing.
Zalath from behind you. You just hear Caesius.
Do you want me to punch you instead of the shark?
Yeah, you're actually punching
I am going to do the same thing. I'm gonna booming blade again. My fist starts to vibrate, and I'm going to try to attack this thing again.
Oh
my god, it's a 13.
13 misses.
No.
I rolled a 5, so.
No.
You turn around, start like cussing at Caesius, and turn around to go to try to punch, and the shark has already moved out of the way, and you just like you don't even turn your head to look at it. You just start punching first, and you just whiff, catch nothing but the air.
This is your fault. I turn back.
It's okay,
your
Mountain.
fault.
You'll get it next time. I know you will.
That's all I can do.
This is fine.
Also, I love because my D&D Beyond dice, when you roll a 1, a mimic attacks you on the screen for my dice. So I'm like, oh, cool.
Nice. Are you using the movie ones?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I like when you roll nat 20 and what's the big red dragon comes out and like eats it.
Ooh.
That's pretty sweet. So here's what's gonna happen. The Night Scaver looks very badly hurt. It actually is trying to flee and retreat. You guys can see it kind of start to shift away. It's going to leave. I guess it would have a 20 feet reduction to its speed. Is that correct?
Right.
So it can only go 20 feet, but we'll be leaving some of your attack ranges. And how does the how does your creature on its back work, Cecil? Because in the process, it's going to try to barrel roll and dump this thing off of it if it can.
It's just a creature that's an ally to me and my companions in combat.
Okay. So I will say that creature, if it has stats for like athletics or a strength check.
Yeah, it has strength. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check to see if it can maintain this thing trying to toss it off. A 5. I got he was trying to dex it off and rolled a 4.
Yes.
So your creature, your I get what do you call it? It's a mystical kind of.
It's a shadow spirit.
Your shadow spirit just grabs a hold of its back dorsal fin and holds on as it tries to do a barrel roll to dump him off and can't do it, or dump her off and can't do it. So moves at. Does anybody want to take an attack of opportunity? If you'd like to,
Yes.
you can go ahead. Yep. The shark can also take an attack of opportunity against, I believe.
I rolled a
Cecil?
13 again. I rolled another 5.
Another. So that's not going to hit. Zalath. Cecil misses. Correct.
17.
Yeah.
17 from the shark.
17 from the shark will hit.
26.
26 definitely hits. You guys can roll up damage.
6, 10, 11, 12 from the 12 damage from the shark, and then Cleo can also hit it. That is. Where's my
20 damage. I can't smite again, right?
No, it's anytime you hit with an attack, you can.
Anytime you hit with an
You have to
attack, if
expend
you
a spell
you
slot.
have to expend the
Oh,
spell
yeah, I'll
slots.
do that. I'll do that. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, that's okay. 20 to hit for Cleo.
20's gonna hit. Yep.
Right. And I'm gonna mark it as my favorite foe as well.
Okay.
So,
Additional 11 for me.
11. Okay.
Six, 11, 18 damage from Cleo.
Okay. I would like.
I have a question.
I rolled
Yeah.
very low.
If it's still alive, I have this new thing called Relentless Avenger. After I hit a creature with opportunity attack, I can move up to half my speed immediately after the attack, and as part of the same reaction, without provoking opportunity attacks, could I also try to jump on its back so I can go with it?
That is an awesome feature. I will save you the hassle and say that you guys have both collectively killed it.
Oh, hell yeah!
So I'm going to let you two describe how you simultaneously attack at once and put this thing down. Because I think it'd be much cooler if you guys came up with a cool creative way to take it down.
You're doing 2-weapon fighting too, right?
No, just one weapon.
Okay.
Two hands with the sword,
Two
right?
hands, one
Oh,
weapon.
two-handed. Got it.
Yeah. I was going for like a hefty swing on its tail. I would like to like detail it.
Detail it, okay.
Cleo's going for the eye. You said to go for the eye. That's
Yeah,
what
I did,
Cleo's
yeah.
going for. So
Yeah.
it's just 2 short swords like straight in.
Yeah, I will say, like, whenever it's shifting by and it looks like it's about ready to leave your threat range, like, Zarin just comes up with this upstroke with the sword, and you guys, it's one of those moments where, like, if you've ever had a glow stick out in the dark and you were moving it fast, you could see the tail of it, like, glow. It just strikes up through and just carves the tail completely off. The screech of pain causes it to turn around rapidly, and that's when you see Cleo just dive in and carve the eye right out of its face with both knives. Both swords. And that will take you guys out of initiative order, as this thing is just in pieces, kind of just hovering and floating around. And actually, probably the tail, like, would get caught, like, most of this body, like, gets caught in the ship's gravity field and, like, slams down onto the deck.
Well, there's dinner.
Shark is immediately like going nuts, trying to like scoop up bits and
Michael,
pieces.
do I know if we can eat this? And with all my experience, like being in, doing this, are these edible by?
Cecil
humanoids?
would know probably best of all, because of his experience fishing, is these are a mighty and grand catch.
Okay.
That was so good.
Yeah, my
This
shark
is
is
like
ethereal and isn't actually eating anything. It's just going through the motions of like doing the shark thing.
these are the kind of things like only happen maybe once in your lifetime, when you catch, like, when you go marlin fishing and you catch like the big marlin or tuna. This is one of those moments right here.
It's good eating. We got good eating here.
Yes.
Like I said, we got dinner.
Wow.
Oh, I'm gonna to fly over to the lady on the whale. Hello,
Okay. What?
whale lady.
So right now you currently don't have anybody on the helm to navigate your
I have-
vessel. So.
Oh, I have wings there, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're flying separately
Yeah,
over to the.
separate, yeah.
Okay, over to the
Yeah, I
whale.
just
Okay,
want to
yeah.
zip over to the whale. Yeah.
Okay, are you going to go to the same one that the lady is on, or are you going to go to
Yeah,
one of
I
the
wanna talk
others?
to her.
Okay. So you fly like next to the whale. It's almost like they've seemed to like.
Well, I have
they-
to
they
land on
really-
it because
they
I
re-
can only fly for a minute.
Oh, okay. You're about to lose your flying. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah. So you seem to startle her a bit as she's looking more towards the vessel as you land, and you turn her, and she turns around swiftly. She is a beautiful elven girl, but she has something like her arms from about here. They start to blacken, and as they go down to her hands, it's almost like her hands are completely like there's something wrong with her that has caused her arms to be completely like, they look like they're dried and blackened and darkened in some way, and her fingers look wrinkled and weak in her form. She's wearing like leather armor that is deep green. You can see a lot of like leaf embellishments on her as well.
Even some leaves in her hair as well. I'm gonna see if I can find. I had a picture of her, but I don't think I prepared it as a handout. But she has this very long, like, light hair that seems to go down to kind of like the middle of her back. And she turns around and she looks very startled to see you. She just turns and looks. Who are you?
I think Cleo suddenly remembers she's very bad at talking to people. Hi.
What are you doing? Do you
She's just looking for like, where is the lab?
I'm gonna bring the
You
ship
still have the
closer.
shark. You still have the shark sequel. You can fly the shark over too.
Oh, let's go, Shark, go!
Shark lasts an hour.
Shark swims through space over to the Kandori. The Kandori seem to be a little bit frightened by the shark as the shark comes closer.
Oh, it's okay, friends.
It's a smaller shark.
They were already very startled. It is smaller than them, but it's still.
It's okay. It's not gonna hurt you.
The woman on the back. It's, please, they will remain calmer if you stay a little farther away with that creature that you ride upon.
Can I like get off? Send it away? I can't really fly.
I don't even know who you are.
I'm Cecil.
I'm Fiona. Thank you for taking care of that night scaver for us.
I'm gonna step off onto the whale. Go! Go!
Yeah,
Pushing the shark away.
Yeah.
The shark kind of follows
Let's
its
fly back
command
over
from
to
its
the-
master to
the
swim
ship.
over to the other ship. It looks as if Zarin is leading the ship over in that direction. Okay. Zarin approaches now with your giant, massive catch on the front of the vessel.
You okay?
Yeah, yes, we're fine. It snuck up on us. Almost got the best of us this time.
It won't hurt you anymore.
You guys seem to take care of it with ease. It's not an easy catch.
A good catch.
Mhm.
Where are you going?
She gets really, like, closed off as you ask that question.
Oh.
She looks down at the back of the Kandori that she's on the back of and just mumbles kind of slowly. I just have some things to take care of, that's all.
Are you okay? Do you need help with anything?
I don't think it's anything that you can help me with.
You might be surprised.
You've already helped me enough.
Alright. Well,
Right.
we will be around this planet for the next few days if you need anything.
Why are you here?
Trying to stop a very evil woman.
Hmm.
Well, two evil women. Who's counting though?
What evil women?
Have you heard of Dementia?
At that name, you don't even have to make an insight check. Her eyes widen, and you can just see there is understanding in her face with that name that you have spoken. And how do you know Dementia?
I came across her by accident, but it appears At least for me, I have personal interest in stopping her from aiding someone that needs to be stopped.
That's funny that you say that. My sister and I come across her by accident as well, some time ago. But when we first discovered her, she didn't call herself Dementia. She put on a ruse, a guise to lure us in. She didn't happen to do the same to you, did she?
What sort of guys?
She duped my sister Sinjay into believing that she was this holy person, this cleric of higher divine power. She came with a ruse that she was weak in power and needed help to scour the astral sea in search of her suffering and dying god, that she might be able to help. My sister was a horizon walker. She could easily dive in and out of planes or scour the astral sea in search. And we found what we believe to be this cleric's missing deity. Unfortunately, whenever the confirmation is made that the divine magical energy of the deity still survived, she killed my sister in cold blood in front of my eyes. I'll never forget that.
Was it just Dementia? Was there others? Leora? Nalima?
I don't recognize the name Leora.
Nalima?
That
No.
name means nothing to me.
Can I insight check her?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Where did that happen? Where were you when that happened?
Somewhere in the
Betrayal.
astral sea. Upon the very back of the husk of the dead god. Yes.
It's a 17.
17? What you're getting vibes of is she's being honest with you. There's no like indication that she would be lying to you in any way. But there is a severe trauma associated with this. And it is while she's being honest with you, she might have her perception of everything that's happened might be exaggerated somewhat because of the trauma that's associated with it.
Well, listen, I'm not going to say that we can make everything better and that everything's going to be fantastic, but we can at least set some stuff right if you could potentially show us to the dead god's body. Because we're trying to stop her, and that's probably where she is.
I'm never going back there. Never again.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You just have to get us close.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's just trying to get you go back to your Trier place. Oof.
The best thing we got right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. At least maybe we can get more information out of her.
Unfortunately, for some reason, I don't have proficiency in persuasion. Oh, nope. Nope. Natural one.
Natural. You can tell there's a block here. Like, it's traumatic. She doesn't want to have anything to do with going back there.
Is there landmarks near it that we could get close? If you know of any?
Sinjay knew a lot about traveling the planes, especially traveling through the astral sea.
So is it on another plane?
Well, currently, like, you guys would know, like, you guys are in a wild space system, so anytime you're in, like, a wild space system, you're technically kind of in another plane from the astral sea, even though you can travel to the end of the wild space system and get to the astral sea. It is technically another plane of existence. So, yeah, like, you're in, like, a bubble when you're in a wild space system, and those are considered, like, those wild space planes, and then when you go out of the bubble, you're in the astral sea, which is just everywhere. Unfortunately, the only way to get there is by seeing, by knowing.
Do any of your whales know?
About to ask the same thing, Cecil. Have any of them been there?
She reaches down and kind of, like, pets the one, and this one does.
Do you think he could show us, or they could show us how to get there? Or take us there?
Well, that would be up to them. That is not for me to decide.
Is there a way to talk to them? I love whales. Are they from the ocean? I have to ask.
They are not from the ocean.
They are space whales.
They are space whales. I would say this. I would say Zarin, being a paladin, would know that Kindori are considered celestial beings. Mm-hmm.
So do I.
It doesn't say that they understand language.
Uh-oh.
It's just not on the sheet.
Leading us.
But I would say
I don't have to speak with animals.
See, it being a celestial, I'm not sure it would even work.
Yeah.
I would say if anyone had the celestial language, I would say you could attempt to persuade the creature, the celestial being Kindori, the massive space whale. You're gonna hug it.
I'm gonna lay down and hug the whale.
Question, Michael.
Does the space whale like hugs?
Mm.
Indeed, it does.
It's so big, it's literally you just laying starfish on top of the whale, though.
Here's a question. Would something like this work?
What's that?
A fine steed?
Oh god.
Because it's celestial fair. If it has an intelligence of 5 or less, its intelligence becomes 6. Gains ability to understand one language of your choice that you speak.
But that's like your
summon a whale.
your wait, I guess it, yeah, wait, it does summon
Appearing
I don't know
on
if you
your.
could summon these whales.
Does it? Where does it summon it from? Like, is it just like pop out of?
I think it just creates them.
Just creates it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you'd be creating a new steed. Like, you wouldn't be like. Like.
You summon a spirit that assumes the form of a creature.
It's kind of like, hey,
so-
I need a warhorse. There it is, right next to you, and you just hop on it and start riding around.
It needs to be the actual creature because it's been there. Like, I can't just summon a creature and just hope that it's been there.
Yeah, you couldn't just summon it to get it there. It would have to be the actual creature that's
Okay,
been
okay.
there.
I'm sure if I could use it on a creature that already existed, but
I mean, I'll let you guys with Celestial if you would like to make. Here's what I'll do. If you talk to it, let me know what you want to say to it. And I'm in Celestial. You guys can, if you want to work together on it. What I'll do is I'll give you advantage, but because Cecil already failed with his natural 1, it will raise the DC.
But
okay.
he failed against her, not the
Oh,
whale.
he failed against her, not the whale. That's true. So what I'll do is I'll give you advantage on it if you're
And I'm
working together.
hugging the whale.
Would it be
And
Like
the
persuasion?
whale
hugs.
likes hugs. The whale does
Would it
like
be
hugs.
persuasion? I have persuasion, or is it an animal handling? I don't know if this is an animal.
It still be persuasion, yeah.
Okay, because I'm.
This is
proficient in
not
persuasion.
a beast. This is not yeah, this wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I would ask it if it would be willing to lead us to that spot with the dead god in order to help your friend get revenge, find peace. You would not need to stay. We only ask that you lead us to the spot so we can stop a greater evil.
Hey, Cleo, what would you add to that?
I think Cleo just is like, and we could be really good friends though, too, you and me. I feel like we could be really good friends.
So the whale enjoys hugs. Let's see if the whale enjoys friends.
Oh no.
The whale's a little bit iffy about people.
And we could travel the stars together.
Which
be best
tracks.
friends.
Which tracks. So here's what I'll do. Go ahead and make your roll with advantage.
Okay, yeah.
Cecil really wanted over with the hug.
Okay.
Cecil's still hugging it. He's hugging it until we have to leave it.
That is a 13 plus 5 with advantage.
You don't hear Celestial spoken back to you, but you hear the whales kind of communicate to one another as they make those whale. I don't know how to describe them, like whales. They're wailing at each other as these sounds emit from each of them. And Fiona looks towards you and says, "They have agreed to take you. And as much as I would not like to relive this, I can't see myself going any farther without them. They saved me. I will go too." You can see there's a lot of hesitancy in her statement.
It's not something we're rushing. We can take our time. You will have time to mentally prepare.
Listen, I don't want to get close. I
You
don't want
don't
to
have
relive
to.
this.
You don't have to. We will keep you safe and at a distance. Once we get
Probably,
there,
like,
you guys can
lower.
leave.
Yeah, you can probably like go below our ship or something, so you don't have to see it.
I would very much like that. Yes. You can see she like reaches up and grabs this necklace. It has kind of like a pendant on it and kind of rubs it, holds it close to her heart. I made so many mistakes. I don't know how we didn't see it. That
She is a very manipulative person. That is not your fault.
we thought we were helping her. Well, I guess we did in a way. We let her write to whatever she needed.
What all did she tell you?
That she was a cleric looking for a way to help save her deity. That was it.
No mention of a weapon.
No. No mention of any weapon. Only that her plan would be complete soon. Saying all that as she slain my sister. It was only then that she even spouted her true name. And I can't get it out of my head.
How long
Her
ago
name Dementia or her?
Dementia.
Dementia, yeah. What
What
name
was
did
the
she
fake
pick?
name she used?
Yeah.
Her fake name that she used was Talway.
What religion? Or like what deity did she say it was?
You see, that's the thing, and that's the part that we should have realized from the first place. She was so weak. She was so weak that she just lost all hope and lost all her memory of this divine being that would bestow these powers. It's looking back on it, I'm sure she didn't even know what she was even looking for to begin with. She just got really lucky that we were really good at what we did. Led her right to it. Well, I guess I should say my sister led her right to it. I can't take credit for it because I was just there helping.
What she look like?
My sister?
No. Dementia.
Well, she was under a guise. She looked like a cleric with white and gold robes. Tall, slender, beautiful woman. But I don't know if it was really the person that I was drawn to or knew at that point in time. Powerful magic can do so many things. Altering one's appearance is very simple. When do you want to get there?
I kind of look back at the party. Still want to cry.
You're cutting out of there.
Do we still want to see what the heck she was doing with that portal before we go looking for a dead god? Because that means we would have to stay here for a couple days, which metagaming we could like use that as a reason to wait for Rayla.
Hey,
That's probably a good idea.
out of game, I'm just going to tell you guys this. Don't worry about Rayla,
Okay.
okay? Because I don't want to, like... Because it's a player not being able to be here, I don't want that to affect your decision-making. Rayla will be back with you wherever you guys decide to go. I'm not going to make that... And I'm saying this on the internet as well. I'm not going to be, like, nitpicky about getting her back with you guys.
Okay.
She will find her way back with you. So you guys decide. You guys can still decide to do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to tell you, don't worry about Rayla's absence. We'll make it work. Okay.
All right.
Don't let that be a determining factor.
I don't know that we waste time looking for clues that we don't really need anymore. Because any days wasted could be days where she's getting what she wants off of the dead god. So,
Right.
and we can always come back and look at the portal later.
Yeah, if she's not at the dead god for whatever reason, we could always come back and see if that's where she went. I do believe the dead god is probably our best lead at the moment. A harvester of souls? That seems like something we should stop.
Cleo, we'll come back to the portal. You look so sad. we're gonna come back.
Looking forward to going to. I haven't been to the fire plane in a really long time, and I was like, "Oh, we'll go see it." But it's fine. It's fine.
Caesius is standing there and he looks over and he's like, yeah, I really kind of wanted to go to the fire plane too, but I understand.
It's okay. Caesius, it will go back after all of this is over, and you and me and Zelath and Cecil we can just go explore the fire plane, and it'll be very dangerous, but very fun.
That sounds fun. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Caesius looks at Zelath and is like,
Is your fist okay?
He's asking for it.
Do you want me to test it out on you?
I'm just kidding around. Just kidding around.
The armor takes most of the impact.
someone like looks at Caesius like,
He's gonna hit you one day, and I'm gonna laugh.
It's
So
all
am I.
earned. I mean, I don't know from experience because he's never hit me, but I'm pretty sure it hurt a lot.
He's hit me before and it hurts.
When did he hit you, Cecil?
We spar sometimes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure you did not feel the whole impact during sparring. It probably hurt a lot more than it did when it hit you.
I still wouldn't want to get hit by it again.
Caesius looks at you, Cecil, and is like,
Why don't you just wrap him up in that tentacle thing you do? Then he can't get close to you.
Well, I mean, I don't want to hurt him.
But you let him hurt you?
Well, with like weapons, yeah. You can control your weapons a lot more than you can control your spells.
I guess that's a good point.
You wouldn't know. You're still learning how to control your weapons. It's okay.
I am far above ballista training. That is so below
You were
me.
far above your target too, but we didn't. Like, what do you want?
I was shifting the aim because I saw this massive uppercut coming, and I thought it was going to shift the creature up into the air a little bit more. So I just put a little bit more loft on it.
Wait, so you're trying the brainless on Zelath?
I didn't mention any names. I just said I saw a big uppercut coming.
Captain, can I shoot him now?
He sees
I
my
said give
my
a 10
fist.
head start, go.
He sees my fist start to vibrate again.
Maybe 5 seconds, you better go.
Yeah. You're going to try and hide from me?
I need to use the restroom.
Yeah.
Caesius disappears.
I look at Sol and I'm like, glad to see things haven't changed.
Yeah, he usually typically backs himself into a corner like that. It happens all the time. So,
So I'm going to guess you don't want me to actually shoot him.
I mean, go ahead. Just don't kill him.
Okay.
He's gotta learn.
Okay. He's gotta learn. You can't insult Zelath like that and just get away with it.
He got away with it because he had the princely shit. He doesn't get that card here. He's not a prince on the ship.
But he had to use the bathroom. You shouldn't shoot somebody that needs to use the bathroom.
Would not be the first time, actually. I'm gonna go find him and shoot him.
Ambush him as he comes out of the bathroom.
He didn't go to the bathroom. He's hiding from me. I'm gonna go find him and shoot him.
He's currently casing the kitchen looking for more cookies.
Don't get more cookies if you're insulting my boyfriend.
I wanna sit at the front, like above the whale's head, and because of my actor feat, I can mimic sounds made by other creatures.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna start making the whale sounds back at the whale.
Literally, Dory.
Okay. So basically you're just repeating the sounds as you hear them. So it's basically like the whales are all hearing an echo of themselves coming back out.
A
of
very
the
tiny
whale.
echo.
Yeah, but maybe they'll be amused, Maybe they'll think it's funny. I don't know.
They seem to be intrigued by your ability to communicate in this way. I guess they wouldn't understand that you don't understand what you're saying, but you're just like saying.
This is like a toddler just like repeating the words without actually understanding what they mean.
And it's kind of like with my cat whenever she meows at me, and then I meow back, and then she meows back. So you guys keep on like doing the same thing, like back and forth.
Ricky and I had a whole conversation about how he wanted dinner before this game started.
That's what I'm doing for a while. I'll just keep doing that.
I will go back to the helm, I guess, since he's doing that.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those conversations that you're stuck in where none of you understand what you're saying. You're just saying it back and forth to each other. Well, I mean, they would understand what you're saying, but it's like awkward because it's like, why do you keep repeating the same words back to me, man?
Why do you keep repeating things
Yeah, why do you keep repeating?
It's really
Stop
just like
copying
talking
me.
to a.
Stop
It's really just
copying
like
me.
talking to a baby when the baby like has no idea what they're saying. They're just repeating the word you just said.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Excellent.
I think
So,
Cleo and Caesius end up in the most dangerous game of hide and seek.
Okay.
Laser tag with crossbows.
Laser tag or crossbows. Yep. I like it.
They each hide and then shoot or stab each other. Gently.
Okay, so what would you guys like to do at this point in time?
I believe the consensus was we were gonna start making our way to the dead god.
Okay. So, do you guys want to all just take the whales? Are you taking the ship?
I think
Following
we're
the
taking
whales in the ship?
Following
Okay.
the whales.
Okay. Yeah.
Was
I'm on a whale.
You're
Can
on
I
a whale?
ride on the
Okay.
whale though?
2 people can ride on whales. Fiona wants to stay on a whale. So, and I'm gonna say, I know they're big, but I'm gonna say that pretty much they'll just take. Well, I'll let it. If anybody who wants to ride, if you want to ride multiple people on it, it's a massive whale. I'm just gonna. You guys can all ride whales if you want to, but somebody's gonna have to fly the ship if you're following.
Yeah, I'm riding a whale for sure.
I think Solon would stay on the ship. Caesius would want to ride a whale. So Kai would probably ride on the one that Cecil's on because he's afraid. Well, unless Cleo jumps on there, and Salath.
Cleo's
I'm gonna
trying
stay
to
on the
make
ship.
friends with one.
Are you gonna stay on the ship? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the ship.
Stay on the ship. Okay.
Does this whale like hugs?
I will say that all 3 of these whales now like hugs
Wonderful. I'm hugging this whale.
because.
I'm hugging this whale. I'm copying this whale.
Excellent.
This is one of my best friend now.
I think Cleo just starts like singing in Celestial to the whale, like trying to make friends.
Okay.
She's just gonna sing to it.
Okay. Yeah. It seems to like start like making noises and sounds with your singing. It's almost like it's trying to sing with you as you guys are
Oh.
flying through
We'll start a
wild
singing
space here.
game.
So you guys see the planet of Shydes
start to dissipate and get smaller and smaller in the distance. You have a thought that perhaps one day you'll return to discover the mysteries of the fire portal that you left in the wake here. And you make your way into... Make your way! into where the gray mist starts to consume all of you, and you leave that wild space system and start to enter into the astral sea. And you can see that the whales are focused as they continue to swim directly forward on within this mist. And it feels like, kind of like, I guess the feeling would be kind of like as if you were going through a fog where it's like cold and a little bit damp as you guys are flying through this part of the space. You can see, even through the gray mist, you can see the sparkling different colors of stars that seem to kind of just go all around within this astral sea. And after some time passes, you're not even really sure how long it's been, because it's just gray, and you're just traveling and traveling and traveling. You start to see this distant silhouette, this darker gray spot in the distance. And the whales keep on swimming, the ship following behind, and it starts to get bigger and bigger. And that's when you notice this thing isn't a small thing, it is a massive thing. And you can see what looks to be a gigantic humanoid shape that seems to be floating in a drift here in wild space. It looks as if it's on its stomach facing forward, with its arms kind of to the side, one shifted up a little higher, one shifted a little lower as it maintains its space. You can see one of its legs looks to be broken, and piece of it just kind of like hangs off to the side. As you get closer, you can see that it looks to be made of stone. And I'm going to show you guys an image in Roll20.
Oh.
Okay. To help better describe, show to players, show to everyone. This is kind of what this scene looks like.
Oh boy.
Minus the massive dragon in there. Please ignore that.
Damn.
That's just the whales. It's just the whales, you know?
Yeah, replace that with the whales, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So this is the image that you guys see as you are traveling through the astral sea. I'll put it up there for our friends to see.
Did we want to let our friend leave?
Yeah, Cleo went back to the ship as soon as we got to the astral sea.
Okay.
Oh, I've been on
Yeah.
the rails this whole time.
Fiona looks towards you and is like, so I have your word that I can have a place of safety on your vessel.
Absolutely.
I think I would prefer to do that now, before we get any closer.
You can stay in my room. I don't use it.
Thank you for your kindness. And she, basically the whales get close to the ship to where she can kind of like, she just kind of like mentally drifts off of it and pops onto the deck. And Cleo, I think you probably show her to your room so that way she can kind of get out of this mental headspace of reliving this trauma from this place that she's been before. What do you guys do? You guys can see it there, floating in front of you. I mean, it's still distant, but I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to plan, get closer, whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to let you guys decide what you would like to do.
Can I insight check her one last time as she goes over to our ship and says all that stuff?
Sure. Go ahead. You roll insight.
12.
You just looking for like honesty? Is she being authentic? Is that
Yeah, I mean, after all the talks of like disguises and being tricked and fooled and the convenience of her appearing right when we needed somebody to lead us here, just a little bit of caution, I guess.
with a 12? I mean, everything checks out. I mean, it seems to be legit. She seems to be being honest, and her, I mean, she truly looks to you like somebody who's dealt with a lot of trauma and is trying to cope.
All right.
Can I use a divine sense to detect good and evil? Or being undead?
Yeah, absolutely. What's the range?
This one's 60 feet.
60 feet. So it would basically be just kind of like your ship, and like you're not close enough to the.
Oh. Yeah, I'll do it on the ship before we even get on near the thing. Yeah, for sure. Just to see if anything's attached to us since we came into the
Do you have the
space.
text of that? Can you
Sure.
share that text?
Yeah,
And I just want to read up and.
You guys got that right?
Michael, on our travel, that was multiple days of travel, or was it just one? Did we get a long rest? Basically?
It would be considered a long rest, even though you guys really weren't sure how many days passed. There would have been a long rest there. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Also, if it's like been a desecrated place or hollow spell,
Okay.
just in this area as well.
I'll give you this. I don't know if it technically it covers it in the spell, but there is an aura about Fiona that gives you vibes of a. I know desecration is more of a term that you use for a like a holy place or something like that,
Right.
but imagine it as more like a curse.
Does it seem to more come from her hands?
It seems to be that might seem to be one of the ailments
Yeah.
of something afflicting her. But it's
And it
not
feels like
like
an
a
evil curse or like an illness curse.
surprisingly enough, it feels a little bit of both.
Okay.
Mm.
Do we see any sort of like work being done or excavation on the
Good question.
outside?
From this distance, no. You would have to get closer to do that kind of thing.
How far out are we?
I would say, based on the size of it and your distance, probably about 1.5 miles to 2 miles.
Ooh, yeah, let's get a little closer.
When we hit 1 mile, I can do the portal thing again.
Okay, yeah, I'll get us within a mile. I think that's a fair.
Okay, sure. You get the
Oh, I thought
ship.
we were much closer, but
No,
never mind.
you're still pretty far away.
Okay.
You know, in like the movie Finding Nemo, when the big whale like approaches and it looks like a little fish. I mean, it's still really kind of you just got the sense that it looks like a human kind of floating, but that isn't a human floating in there. You can tell it's much bigger. And as you get closer, then you're gonna do a portal thing.
Do portal first, and then I'll do my primeval awareness.
Okay, remind me your portal ability.
I can detect portals. Gain the ability to magically sense the presence of a planar portal as an action. You can detect the distance and direction to the closest planar portal within a mile.
Okay. You do not sense a planar portal within a mile.
Okay. And we're within a mile of the
Yeah,
step.
Zarin got you within a mile.
Yeah, I would have gotten you a little bit closer than a mile so you could like check the whole body.
Check the whole thing. Yep.
And then I will use my primeval awareness,
Okay.
which means I can use one of my spell slots to sense whether the following types of creatures are present within a mile: aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Oh gosh. Here we go. You doing this to me?
Good, Eileen.
Give me a second there, Phil.
All of them. Yeah.
The answer is yes.
The answer is
Leo
yes.
likes to know what she's getting into.
Okay,
All the
let
above.
me see this.
you,
I've got a
you
lot of
got
sheets to look
thieves.
through here a second.
You got undead. You got celestials.
Do you need the list? Do you mean to send you the list of what I can?
Yeah, if you can
detect?
put it in the roll 20, that would be very helpful.
Okay. These are the types of creatures I can detect. All of them within a mile.
All of them within a mile. Okay.
It says within 6 miles if you were in favored terrain, but I don't have favored terrain, so.
I will tell you that you sense fiend. You sense elemental. And I think... Let me check this one last one.
Yes, we have celestial too because of the whales.
Yeah, Celestial will pop up because of the whales.
And technically celestial too.
I think that will do it. So Fiend and Elemental.
I should get the distance and direction of those as well.
Distance
no,
and
that's the portal.
direction.
No, sorry, that's the portal.
Oh, that's a portal? Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
You can sense whether they are within that, so I don't,
Yes.
It does not reveal a location or number.
Yes to those.
There is elementals and bee.
Yep.
So definitely close by elementals and fiends, but no portals.
Maybe they got the elemental from that portal back on Shitty Space.
Maybe. Or the portal is just farther away.
Well, we just need to be
Wait a
careful no
second.
matter what.
You do
Uh-oh.
also sense aberration.
Yeah.
Yay!
Let's go look for let's go look for like dig sites or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get us closer to do like a cursory for activity.
Okay.
Are the whales still here?
The whales are
They
still here.
ride with us?
They, if you remember, they don't really want to get close.
Yeah, can I tell them to stay back,
So-
like at the mile marker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys can leave them there and
Yeah,
move in.
yeah. Let them stay at a safe distance.
So, question to ask you: if you guys are looking for dig sites, how close to this thing do you want to get?
Personally, I think kind of the normal like planetary, like because we wouldn't think otherwise. Where we like go down and we're like hovering and looking around,
Like 120 feet or like 200 feet?
probably like 200 feet. Yeah.
Well, here's what we'll do. As you guys start to get closer and closer, one thing you do notice in this image, do you see how the back arm in that image that I shared with you kind of sticks like straight out and up?
it would be called the site in your handout. It's the far arm in the distance.
Yeah.
There is a spelljamming vessel landed on the back of that hand on the top of
What
it.
kind of?
From this distance, it looks to be a smaller ship, but it looks to be in the shape of some kind of maybe moth or insect on the back of the hand of that part. You do also can tell that there is like this cloud of dust that seems to be formed on the like central back area of this husk. But you can also see that there are, where you looked and that leg was kind of broken in the back, there's also some space kind of like behind it if you wanted to, if you were looking for a place to like be sneaky, where all that rubble is kind of like hovering around, almost like, you know, things caught in orbit of something. Basically the kneecap down, the shins are kind of broken up into these stones. That looks like a good place that you could approach these things. Also, it even looks like inside the mouth of this creature,
That's what I was thinking.
there is an opening inside the mouth of this creature. But you can't see inside of it. So you don't know if there is something else in there already, if it's already occupied. From this distance, as you're getting closer and closer, you don't really know. But it's really up to you.
I think
Is
we
that
just
like
start this thing.
mouth?
I think we just put it in the mouth. You know, that's what I think we gotta
Go
do.
for
It's
it.
like,
I can roll.
what are you choking on? Oh, it's just a space galleon.
Yeah.
How'd that get in there? Just swallowed it.
I think we either do mouth or by the other spell jamming ship, so I can seal it.
I mean, you can also, there's that other hand there that's also available.
Can we do a flyby? Can we buzz the mouth and see what's inside of it?
Sure.
See if
Yeah, you want to
there's
get a little closer?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I want to get closer to see if we can get around that area.
Okay.
If not,
Michael, you're sketching me out with this. You want to get closer? You want to get
Oh,
You're sketching me out.
I'm just making sure. I want to make sure I get it right, you know? Who wants to be the one, or all of you, if you want, you can all make perception checks if you'd like. Or
Sure.
Natural. Oh, that's actually a 4, not a 1. Still, just
18 for
amazed.
me.
18 for you? Okay.
9.
22.
22. Okay.
What's 8 plus 7? 15.
15. Everybody but Cecil. Look in. Cecil's focused like too much on like thinking about this cool idea of driving this, flying this ship into the mouth of this dead god.
The
When you
snicker
look
glows out
closer,
of the
guys,
helm.
one thing stands out to you. The teeth inside the mouth appear to have windows in them. As if they're carved out maybe inside to be homes.
Perfect place to land. It's the perfect place to land.
I don't think I want to land, like, crash into these windows and break up their homes. I don't think I want to do that. That's going to be a lot of damage to our ship.
Should I go take a look in the window?
Well, from your distance, you can see movement within some of those windows, and you can see movement along like the gums and stuff of there are like creatures or people or something inside, like living in the mouth.
Do you want me to like sneak over and go take a look?
Yeah, let's get eyes on what they are, I think is the first important thing.
Okay.
Okay. I want you, Zarin, to make a. Let's make a. I don't think ships in this game have stats, so I'm just gonna have you just make a stealth check. Your character.
Disadvantage or just regular?
Just regular.
Well, it's a +0, but I rolled a 15.
That's good. That's good. You get a little bit closer. And like when you guys look at the windows, they're not like they don't have glass panes on them or anything. It's just almost like imagine like a you know how when you see like images of like ancient Indian type things that were made out of clay or carved into rock. It's just an opening. But you can see, and you guys would all recognize these as Durigar. Basically dark-looking dwarves with white beards moving about here in this makeshift, what it seems to be, city within the mouth of the dead god.
Abort mission.
Looks like there's a lot of them too, like a significant amount.
Should I go to the hand, like where the other ship is, or should we stealth them?
Yeah, let's go steal that ship real quick.
I'll go. Yeah, let's just do it. We're here. Let's try and find her. And steer under, so hopefully not get too much tension, and go under and around to get to the other hand.
Okay. So are you coming like, are you going like under the hand and then up, like to try to get a view of this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As you're moving about there and you're going down and dipping back up, you look over to the left and you see something in the distance. And it's starting to get closer and closer to you. And you realize it's another spell-jamming vessel. It's coming closer.
Tuck in the hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hide the ship. I'm gonna tuck in.
You start to tuck in. Cecil, you're the first to recognize this. Because you wouldn't miss this. Rayla is coming back.
Oh.
And you see your scorpion ship coming your direction.
Oh no.
And that's where we're gonna end this episode
Oh no.
of Spelljammer Lost Divinity.
Oh no. Hey, no.